Welcome, everyone, and welcome to Progressive Discussions. It is Sunday afternoon. I'd say the end of June already, 2022, and we're having a heat wave, a tropical heat wave for several days, including today. 90 degrees, of course, humid. What do you expect for the East Coast? Or if you live on the Great Lakes, or if you live on the Gulf Coast, is even worse. They call that the heat indexed. And I want to welcome my longtime close friend and one of my co-hosts, the one and only, the natural strength training competitor himself, the man who sets the example for most humanoids out there for lifestyle, the one and only the Commodore, originally from Boston, Massachusetts, now residing in the maritime provinces of Canada. Okay, there he is. Welcome. Welcome, Commodore. And as we await the other individuals, don't mind me. I had a blister on my lip, my upper lip. It's starting to dry out and scab, but it was painful and quite annoying. There we go. Oh, what happened? Oh, there we are. So let me just say I hope the beginning of summer is going well for everyone. Everything is in chaos. The country and the world is still in chaos. You name it, it's happening. Commodore says, as you can see, James, with the heat wave, are loose-fitting pajamas appropriate for a sweaty stick shift from a JFK airport to southern New England? Yes, very loose fitting, and also getting the knob polished would have a cool and refreshing effect on the on a man's you can call it many things, but on a man's most valuable appendage, aside from his Rocky Mountain oysters, as they say in Brooklyn. Hey, Colin, how are you, sir? Colin McMenamin, performing artist, singer, musician extraordinaire, expert at folk music and Irish music. I hope everything is well. From Northern Ireland, Colin McMenamin. We missed you last week, I guess. Well, it was Father's Day last week, so a lot of people were occupado. You try to get back on. Try. Well, I take it if you're using your phone, I assume your phone is plugged in and to keep the full charge. So what you do is reboot your cell phone. I have many glitches. Even though I have like a fairly new Android, I still have glitches when it comes to the internet and social media. So reboot your phone and try again. When all else fails, reboot. Colin is here. VC was here, but we had some technical difficulties, and hopefully, if he reboots his phone, all will be fine. Some people have issues with their internet provider, internet service. I know Ronald J. Terrio has issues. BC occasionally has issues with his. Mine is, knock on wood, mine is primo. Oh, the itch in the middle of the forehead. Yes, that needs to be scratched. Yes, sir. Yes, I cracked open a very nice craft beer. I can't mention what it is because I'm going to bring it on Joker's Wild Wednesday, July the 6th, 2022, Ronald J. Terrio's Joker's Wild Wednesday. So I cannot divulge what it is, but I will drink it. Yes, our good friend Bart Robinson will probably stop by. Mr. Messias of Northern California usually stops by. Daryl Messias and Sid usually comes by when he has time. Our male rights activist. So let me get on with, because I have a lot of material to cover here. Let me get on with the first. Of course, the geek makes you jump through hoops in order to share something. All right. So Wells Fargo scandal. So let me begin. Wells Fargo forced to pay $3 billion for the bank's fake account scandal. All right. Article is by Jack Kelly. Wells Fargo, the fourth largest bank in the United States, agreed on Friday to pay $3 billion to settle its long-running civil and criminal probes into the heinous accusations of rampant fraudulent sales practices. The San Francisco-based bank announced that it will pay the substantial financial penalty to both the U.S. Department of Justice and the Security and Exchange Commission. Roughly $500 million of the fine will be allocated to the Security and Exchange Commission. The regulator will use the funds from the settlement to offer some restitution to the defrauded customers. Who can you trust nowadays, Commodore? Who can you trust? The problems began when Wells Fargo executives pressured rank and file bank personnel to aggressively cross-sell products to enhance sales and revenue to meet certain quotas. The infamous quotas, a tool of greed. Deception reared its ugly head when Wells Fargo employees then created millions of savings and checking accounts for customers without their knowledge or approval. Yikes. To reach the sales goals set forth by the company, bank branch staff resorted to inappropriate activities. Okay. They started using their own contact information on forms to prevent customers from discovering the scam. Employees were accused of creating fraudulent checking and savings accounts by moving money out of existing accounts into the new ones. Yikes. Holy shit. This was made possible by pinning, quote unquote, a process in which the customer's PIN number was set to zeros, so that bankers could readily control their clients' accounts and keep them in the dark. Eventually, many of the bank's customers noticed and questioned the fees on accounts they didn't request or realize that they owned. The avalanche of complaints drew the attention of regulatory agencies. The fraud started to gain wider attention in 2016 when a group of government regulatory agencies fined the company a combined $185 million. Wells Fargo subsequently dealt with civil and criminal lawsuits and paid out over $2.7 billion, not including the recent penalties. John Stumpf, Wells Fargo's chief executive, at the height of the scandal, was forced to resign. Yeah, well, that's a nice last name for a crook at that high level. Stumpf. All right. Now we have the bank now admits, according to DOJ officials, that it pressured employees to meet unrealistic sales goals that led to thousands of employees opening millions of accounts for customers under false pretenses or without customer consent, often by misusing customers' identities. In a statement, Andrew Murray, U.S. Attorney for the Western District of North Carolina, said, "Today's announcement should serve as a stark reminder that no institution is too big, too powerful, or too well known to be held accountable and face enforcement action for its wrongdoings." Damn right, got that straight. U.S. Attorney Nick Hanna added, "Simply put, Wells Fargo traded its hard-earned reputation for short-term profits and harmed untold members of customers along the way." Well, it's a long article, but that's the gist of it. That is the gist of it. That is horrible. That is pretty bad. That is pretty bad. BC. Well, what you could do is if you want to say something, just unmute yourself, and if it keeps on happening, then remute, unmute, remute, unmute. I guess rebooting it didn't really do the trick.
I don't know how bad it sounds right now, but I've got a train sitting outside my house right now. So that might have something to do with it. I don't know. Because I did reboot my phone and I did clean up like anything that might be running.
Well, it's better than it was.
Yeah, it might be the train. I'll wait until the train passes. I'll keep it like you were talking about, mute myself, and I want to say something, unmute, then remute.
Yeah.
Until the train goes, and then we'll see how things are.
Okay. I just want to welcome Colin McMenamin, performing artist, musician. Colin,
what's up? What's up, guys? Good to see you. James, Commodore, BC, good to see you. Yeah.
I imagine you're having the same heat wave that I'm having, and what BC is having.
It's pretty hot. Pretty hot. Tomorrow it's going to rain like crazy though. So unfortunately, that's just adds to the Monday blues. You know.
Yeah. Well, rainy days and Mondays always get me down. That was Karen Carpenter. Yeah. Days and Mondays always get me down. Well, Mondays. Well, if you come rain,
I don't like Monday. No.
People that work in offices have the worst Mondays.
Oh yeah, I can't even imagine. You know, at least I'm out and about. You know what I mean? Like I'm going house to house, door to door. But I can't imagine just being sat in. I've done it before. The worst job I ever done in my life. It was like a prison sentence. It was telemarketing when I first came to the United States.
Oh, I hate that shit.
Oh, jeez. Oh man. Talk about burnout. Talk about mental burnout.
Were you an outbound call or inbound call center?
Outbound.
Outbound.
I was just handed like a book, a list of numbers, leads, so-called leads, and I was just calling all day.
Well, we were told not to call the West Coast or Hawaii.
You're right.
Until the end of our shift. Because you talk about, pissing people off, waking them up in the middle of the night.
That's true.
And the last thing they want to hear is a telemarketer.
Yeah, exactly. And I had to learn that. I learned that I had to learn it very quickly because just you mentioned Hawaii and, out in the West Coast. I was getting up at 9 o'clock in the morning. I hadn't a clue, and I was dialing like Hawaii.
Well, Hawaiians were very, very nice and friendly to me. They said aloha at the end, and God bless you, and all. Oh, they were great people.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But Texas, like the South, like especially
down here now.
No, they cursed me out. They cursed me out.
No.
They must have heard my northeastern Yankee accent.
Yeah, they heard that old that staunch accent from.
Yeah, they cursed me out. Well, anyway, Commodore says, and I salute the geek from Silicon Valley with my middle finger.
Yo, well said, Commodore. Well said.
Tell, you must work harder. You must work harder. Never trust business. Yeah, harder and faster. Unless you're with a hot-looking car show model or swimsuit model, then harder and faster is not such a bad idea. James, you are not being fair. Excessive fees are necessary for corporate management to take their families on elaborate vacations. James, you better start being nice to corporate liars or else.
Yeah, the fat cats, right?
For those that remember Mr. Ed, for those that are old enough,
I do.
to remember Mr. Ed. Okay, let me go on to the next subject because we got oodles of fun here.
Horses.
Oh man,
You get that song in my head.
oodles of fun. All right, we'll try this one.
Oh, Wilbur.
Oh, Wilbur.
Yeah.
I'll leave the best for last.
Cheers, lads. Happy Sunday.
Cheers to you. Happy Sunday. Feliz Domingo. And I'm going to crack open mine, but I cannot tell you what it is because I'm supposed to bring it on Ronald's show.
Oh, yeah. When's that? When?
June the 6th. He's having Joker's Wild Wednesday, but this Wednesday, it's basic original Budweiser beer.
All right.
Budweiser beer. But I don't drink nationally advertised macro American beers. But if you do, I mean, it should be cheap enough in where you're living.
Oh yeah, I drink Miller Lite all the time, but I can definitely pick up.
Well, according to this, the airline companies received a huge government bailout during the pandemic because this federal aid was meant to prevent carriers from laying off or furloughing employees, but they must have pocketed all that government money because it didn't exactly help the employees of the airlines.
Yeah, a lot of folks came rich with the shamdemic. That's for sure. Yeah, a lot of people made a lot of money. You think all those grants been given out, just like you're saying? You know.
Let me bring this up.
There's only been a few that's ever been like subpoenaed and called back. You know, it's crazy. But anyway.
Okay. All right. You want to see Michael Hilton's face of truth? The truth? No, Michael Hilton's not going to be in the middle. Someone else is. And don't worry, it's not BC. It's not Commodore. It's not Colin. It's not myself.
I don't mind.
But it's something. It has to be. It has to be a comical image. It can't be. It can't be you looking your best.
Right.
You're damn right. Yeah, they do. Smaller seats. I was crammed in there when I took United Airlines to San Diego for a 5-hour flight. No matter what I did or the person in front of me did, my knees were always up against the back of the seat.
Cramp? Talk about cramp. Those guys are getting older. Leg cramps.
What do you call it? No, I was talking about United Airlines. They're in their effort to make it less comfortable. And cram more, sell more tickets and cram more people in there. They've cut down on the space. So if you happen to be a tall man, with long legs, you're in trouble. You got a problem.
There's your friend from Japan. Hey,
yes.
What's up?
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. Top of the morning to you, Masumi.
Top of the morning.
Yes. Colin says good morning. It is now 4:27 a.m. Monday in Tokyo. So good morning to you, Masumi, my dear. And we have James. Can you please put the ranting female empowerment in the middle of the wheel of truth? I don't have an image of that individual.
I know who Commodore's talking about.
Well, it's a typical. Now we're going to towards the end. I have a video that you're going to enjoy, which is which is the which is a result of the hypocritical movement known as feminism, and how it sabotaged straight, normal, heterosexual relationships between men and women. How it literally sabotaged it, and it's a good one, man. It's a good one.
That'll be interesting.
Thank you. You're very welcome, Masumi. Very welcome indeed. Yeah, who knows, Commodore? I have no idea. All right, let me get back to this article. All right. A wave of airline cancellations that snarled thousands of flights over the past 3 months did more than strand passengers at airports from Florida to Indiana and points in between. It also angered lawmakers who had given the airline industry more than $50 billion in pandemic relief money over the last year and a half. Yeah, heaven forbid they should bail out the little guy.
Right?
Yeah, based on the carrier's promise that the cash would help them be ready for travelers' return to the skies. Now, Congress is demanding answers about why airlines have been so unprepared for the inevitable upswing in passenger demand, a question with big implications for the holiday travel season that kicks off this weekend. There should have been every reason, particularly given the bailout money for the airlines, to prepare for the surge we are seeing now. Democratic, I guess, from Delaware, I don't know, Eleanor Holmes Norton. It pisses me off when these women have to use their maiden name and their married name and this and their middle name. Get the fuck out of here.
Right.
DC's representative in Congress told Politico this money was for a very special purpose. And there's a photo of stranded individuals, customers. Passengers line up inside the Spirit Airlines terminal. Oh, they suck. At Los Angeles International Airport in Los Angeles on Tuesday. This was August 3rd, 2021.
Looks bad.
Yeah, Norton, who said she has some buyer's remorse for supporting the bailout, is calling for hearings on the topics before the House Transportation Committee, and she's not the only one. The Senate Transportation Panel is already preparing to grill airlines in the matter in early December. The airlines owe Americans better service, said Senator Rich Blumenthal, Democrat from Connecticut, a member of the panel. In my view, they're failing to keep their side of the bargain. Airlines for America, the trade group for major U.S. airlines, said the hiccups carriers have experienced recently are wholly unrelated to federal support payments, which was used exclusively to keep workers on the job. And of course, the travelers are returning to the airports at a rapid pace after the pandemic became under control because of the vaccinations. So without going on and on and on, blah, blah, blah. Here's people online. It's really a bad situation. There seems to be corporate greed just running rampant throughout the United States, and no one's held accountable for anything, and they really have contempt for their consumers. They really don't give a shit about providing quality customer service and a value, and a true value. James, I think I missed the news coverage when the airline industry thanked the American taxpayers for the government-funded bailout money. I don't think I've ever seen that, Commodore. I really have not.
You can't trust anybody these days, James.
What's that?
It's who do you trust these days, you know?
Yeah,
Try this strange 10-second technique tonight to reverse type 2 diabetes. Most people continue to take blood.
Dead Bush. HOA violation. You are not.
Hold on. I got to start from the beginning. Yeah, who do you trust? Who do you trust? You know what? I need to quench my thirst a bit.
Yeah. Enjoy.
Yeah, from talking, every now and then.
Yep.
Plus the heat wave.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not, this plastic cup, Banana King cup, holds the contents of an entire bottle of craft beer.
Yeah.
So it must not be that big of a bottle, but I
Was
have
it 12-ounce bottle. I mean, speaking of beers, let me grab another one. I've been using this thing to try and keep the thing cold. This silver thing.
Yeah, well, I have
It's not bad.
I have an insulated thingy. It's not metallic. It's it's made out of vinyl or something. It's like a I call it a beer condom. I mean, I could put the bottle or a can in this, and it was given to me by my sister when she went to Santa Maria. What the hell is it called? Anna Maria Island in Florida, which is on the Gulf Coast. And it's black, and it has a Jolly Roger, has like a pirate skull and crossbones. And it's nice, but I kind of like to utilize these.
Oh yeah.
I think I have a total of 4 of them in the freezer. I keep it on the freezer door.
Yeah. No. Let me grab a beer real quick.
Sure.
Gotta take advantage of these Sundays.
You remember all the villains, Commodore, in the cartoons? They all had the skinny black mustache that they used to wax. They used to curl the ends.
Yeah, the old days.
Villains had that.
We don't get that. Those days are gone now. It's like everything's full of filth these days.
Damn right. Now I want to ask Colin something. I bet in Ireland you don't see 90-degree Fahrenheit.
Oh no.
Days in the summertime.
No, not at all. Not at all. In saying that, I've been kind of chatting to a few people just, over the last few days or the last week. And they've been breaking records as far as temperature. But no, nothing like here. Like I'm in Virginia 22 years. That's almost a lifetime. And I still haven't got used to it, but I love it. I wouldn't change, I wouldn't go back to the old climate, but it's just the humidity and stuff. But no, just going back to your question over there. No, they've been, especially in Ireland and over in England as well. They've been fried. They've been
really.
Oh yeah.
Even Scotland's had some.
Scotland too. I think it was last Monday. I had a brief chance to talk to young Geordie, and he was sitting out in his backyard with a t-shirt on, and the sky was blue and the sun was shining. And wow, for Scotland, that's like You know, it doesn't happen too often. You know.
I like I like the cool weather. To be honest, with you. I like it. I sleep a lot better. I have more energy. I feel more invigorated.
Yeah, as long as your AC's working, you're all right.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
My favorite time of year is autumn. I love October. I mean, the holidays are fun. The weather is great.
Yeah, you can wear your nice clothes, you know, wear something, you know, and
I mean,
you know.
I bet Commodore, you know, can easily work out outside
Yeah.
and go hiking and do whatever he does outside near the ocean in the fall weather and not sweat his balls off, you know.
Next weekend, I'm heading up. I'm doing a day trip, but overnight trip. I'm heading up to Gettysburg, and you know, I go there quite often, and I'm going to do the Civil War.
Oh, that's great. That's the border. That's the border of Maryland and Pennsylvania, isn't it?
Absolutely, and it's only 55 minutes to an hour away from me. So no, I look forward to that, and you know, sometimes I'll even go by myself, you know, and do my thing.
Barry Gibb of the Bee Gees married Miss Edinburgh of Scotland. Really?
Edinburgh, Scotland. Oh wow.
Well, you know, a celebrity, especially a celebrity musician,
Yeah.
and has their pick of females. I mean, I'm not talking about the nice girls. I'm talking about the nice girls and the groupies and the sluts.
I love the Bee Gees. Oh man, love the old Bee Gees.
Oh, they're great, especially when they did the soundtrack of Saturday Night Fever.
Great movie. John Travolta, Saturday Night Fever. Right?
Yeah. You should be dancing. You should be dancing. Yeah, you should be dancing. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, brilliant. Just after that conversation, I might even watch that again tonight for the 300th time in my life.
Yeah,
The soundtrack is amazing. Yeah.
Maurice Gibb.
How deep is your love? Your love. How deep is your love? Oh man, they have everything in there.
KC and the Sunshine Band. I'm your boogeyman. That's what I am. I'll give you whatever I can. He had the horn. He had a horn section, KC.
Mm-hmm.
Lulu. Is that Lulu Roman from Hee-Haw? Remember the fat girl with
Lulu.
Wow. Oh, her. To Serve with Love. Yes.
Commodore, how many of those Bee Gees are still alive?
Probably one.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, they've all started kicking it off.
Maybe it has.
Where were they originally from?
Weren't they from England?
Yeah, it was either England or
maybe it has something to do with
Australia.
Maybe it has something to do with singing high pitched. That
Yeah.
shortens the man's lifespan. Maybe they had to shrink their testicles to allow them to sing that high pitch.
Or tie a belt around them.
Tie a cord, like a leather cord, tie something around their testicles.
Wow, Commodore. Yep, you just confirmed what I was grappling around with. Australia, their father Hugh Gibb moved from the Isle of Man. Isle of Man, wow, that's just a little island in the middle of the St. George's Channel between Ireland and England. Just and they have great bike racing there.
isn't that where the tailless cat is from? The Manx, they call the Manx, the Island of Man. There's a cat with no tail.
Could be. I'm not sure, but it's just a little island.
What do you think the population is? I mean, it's small.
I have no clue. Oh yeah, it's probably only 10, 20,000. I don't know.
But
that's just a guess.
If you stare at it, could you see the water on the other side?
Probably. You know, I know there's a certain. If you go to the Giant's Causeway in Northern Ireland on a clear day, you can see Scotland just looking across. But it has to be like you got to have a really clear day. But you can see the outlines of the shore, you know, looking across. That's very, very north.
Scotland and Northern Ireland must be very rocky.
Yeah, well,
the coast.
Yeah, it's rocky, but where the real rocks are, if you go to the west of Ireland, you know, on the west coast, that's why when it was, you know, run and taken over and colonized, that's why all the Irish, they were all pushed. That's why the famine broke out. They were all pushed out to the west, you know, because, yeah, it was beautiful, mountains and scenery, but there was no farmland. The people couldn't farm because of
no agricultural.
Yeah, there was a famine going on in Ireland, but there was massive exporting going on from the east side. All the cattle, all the goods were being shipped out over into England, and the Irish were starving on the west side. They were all pushed out
because in the eyes and the mind of the royal family of England, everything that was produced in Ireland belonged to the king.
Yeah.
So it was shipped out.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So yeah. So you're talking about the west coast facing the North Atlantic Ocean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There used to be a population of 9 million people, which is, you know, it's a small country, and now there's only like 5. You know, that come back to like 1847, the days of the famine. You know, we had like at least 2 million died in the famine, and then they reckon, you know, a couple of million emigrated. The United States, you know, Australia, Van Diemen's Land, as they called it at that time, and even also to England as well.
Well, you're talking about probably the turn of the century, the beginning of the 20th century, and even before that, the Irish immigrants came over, probably went to Ellis Island.
Oh yeah,
New York, where they all went. You know,
mm-hmm.
Process, and then they. I know. Boston has a huge Irish American population. Chicago has a decent amount. New York has it, but Boston, I think Boston is probably has the largest Irish.
Yeah, but you know, all of our ancestors, you know, most of them all came through. You know, some came through different, like Boston, like you said, but most, you know, the majority all came through Ellis Island. You know, whether you're from, you know, Scandinavia, Germany, you know, Ireland, England, you know, wherever. Have you ever, James? Commodore? Have you ever visited Ellis Island? Took that trip?
I've seen it from Liberty State Park in Jersey City, and Liberty. It's right near Liberty Island, but I've never been on it. I know it's like a museum now.
Yeah, it's a big museum. I went there in 2009 with my ex at the time, and it was quite fascinating just to get in there.
Yeah,
I hope they keep it as it is and not do the woke thing and tear it down. You know,
that's a historic landmark.
Exactly.
Oh, that's a big historic landmark.
Absolutely, but and that goes kind of getting deeper into the point. There's just so much of our history in this country being, taken away and taken down, and everybody's got their different type of views. But I'm of the view of, hey, preserve your history, whether it's good or bad. You learn from it. And it's got to go on for future generations to learn also. Don't just tear down statues because somebody's fought for the Confederacy. Leave it alone. But that could be controversial as well. But that's just my thoughts.
I have very strong. I have a very strong passion for preserving all historic landmarks, regardless what it represents, because to me, it's education for the children and for their children, and so on and so forth.
Yes.
For the future of children, it is a part of American education to preserve history with all historic landmarks, like buildings that are like, I guess, over 100 years old, 200 years old, and
yeah.
I mean, if you go to Salem, Massachusetts, I mean,
I'd love to visit. Yeah,
I used to go every Halloween for years.
Yeah,
with my exes, and the buildings and the homes are 300 years old.
Yeah.
The headstones in the Salem Cemetery are 300 years old or more. And
the Salem witch trials, so many were put to a slaughter.
Yeah, well, that was a lot of innocent women were put to death.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the headstones, the old headstones had all, I don't know, poetic limericks or whatever. Like in other words, they told a story about the deceased person.
Yeah.
With in a very poetic way. That often rhymed. It was fascinating. And and they have a lot of them have skulls with wings on the side. And, I took a couple photos of the Salem Cemetery. I was in one of them, and there were cloudy, misty apparitions. There were misty apparitions above my head, above the headstones.
Oh, they're there. They're there, bro.
Yeah, well, I should take a photo. I should take a photo of those photos and post it on my Facebook page, New Age Mysticism and Healing, because that could have been, they could have been spiritual entities.
Oh, I'm sure they were. Even where I live here now, this town was built in 1733. It's an old German settlement. I moved here 2 years ago. Spent 20 years in a different part of Virginia. 2 years ago, I moved here, and when I first, this building I live in now it's 1923, so it's almost 100 years old. But the town itself, like I just said, 1733. See, when I first moved on here, for about 6 months, it was like they were trying me out. I could tell you stuff that's crazy. I had stuff flipping around. I had things falling that should never have fallen. I had my bedroom door getting slammed in the middle of the night. Wow. I had picture falling off the wall. And the craziest one, I tell you no lie, may God strike me dead as I'm sitting here. It was about 5:30 in the morning. Headed out. It was a November time. I was heading out, got in my car, drove to the end of the driveway, just outside the building. And I stopped because at a 45-minute drive, and I was working at the time to pick up my work truck. So I stopped because my water was in the trunk, went back and got my water out, and I looked to the side, to the porch, there was a figure of a woman just standing there. And you know what? I couldn't see her face. And I tried to focus. And I wear glasses, you know what I mean? But, you know, I'm not that bad, like, but I was trying to focus. Couldn't see her face. But it looked like if this makes sense, it looked like a black and white hologram just right at the bottom of the steps. And I could tell it was a woman. It was the figure of a woman.
So the figure of the woman was like very translucent.
Yeah. I've never been able to.
A wispy, like you can see through her, but you can tell it was the outline, the silhouette.
Yeah, she was just there. She was there. Just that figure, you know, you could tell. And at first when I looked, I thought, no, is that the guy's wife, you know, from upstairs? But then the more I looked and I stared, and she was just there, just standing there, causing no harm, but just standing there. And I got in my car and I went, what the fuck, you know? And I drove down, I done a U-turn, and I came back up past the building again, and she was gone. But no, she was there, bro. Yeah, true.
Do you know that children, pets like dogs and cats, and cameras can pick up spiritual entities that the human eye of an adult human eye cannot pick up? Like my ex that took the photo of me standing in back of a headstone at Salem Cemetery, she didn't see those foggy, misty apparitions up in the air. She didn't see that. But but the camera can pick these up. And if you have a dog or a cat, they could see it, or a very young child can see it. So when a very young child starts crying in the middle of the night and says there's a monster in his closet, I believe he's not imagining this.
Yeah.
It could be a shadow person. It could be an evil spirit. Usually it's a what's the negative word? Malevolent entity. Malevolence, but not benevolent is good, right? Malevolent is bad.
Cheers, Commodore.
Yeah, it was good. And you know, that's the beauty of doing an unplanned, unrehearsed ad lib show, is you never know what information is going to come up.
Yeah,
you never quite know it.
Yeah, it's like you just talking about those photographs. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. And it's you know, it just depends where you are. And sometimes these things probably just reveal themselves, not to everybody, you know, not everybody's open, you know, but some people are.
No, not everybody is open to it. But as far as premonitions, visions, psychic, the things that psychic mediums see, or people that can peer into the future, who can see things. These things are given to them. You cannot conjure visions of things to come, or any visions. They are, the spirit world gives them to you. So if you're staring into a crystal ball, you can stare until you pass out. Unless something is given to you, you will not view anything. But anyway, let's see what this is about. HOA, my friend, my co-host, Jason Cleveland, has it really bad in the the suburbs of Seattle, Washington, with the HOA, because he has to pay this ridiculous expensive fee to the HOA to live in that neighborhood, right? Aside from the mortgage and the taxes and everything, but then he has to live his life according to what the HOA tells him. The HOA says, oh, you can't have any I don't know. You can't have any car parked outside in your driveway overnight. You got to put it inside, I think, in the garage. You can't do this, you can't do that. Yeah, hey, he's paying all this money.
That's a lot.
To live in an exclusive suburban area. All this fucking money he's paying, and he's got to take orders from the HOA telling him how him and his family could live their life, what they can do, what they cannot do. I mean, it's insane. Let's see what this is about.
Jeb Bush, HOA violation. You are not going to believe what's continuing to happen here.
The HOA sends another message with a $3,000 fine. They're not going to like my answer. I got the perfect solution. This is getting really old. Whoever is behind the HOA nonsense needs to stop. With this being said, what's your experiences with HOA? Do you see a lot of nonsense that they have in rules and regulations? This is at least our second or third kind of letter or note from an HOA. So several months ago, we went on vacation, and while we were on vacation, apparently some unruly neighbors were a little frustrated that the grass alongside our creek was getting a little tall. So they sent us a complaint and asked us to basically take care of it. So I got back, opened that letter, and I thought, why would they care about our creek being 200 yards away? So I started looking at it and said, you know what, we'll trim it up, we'll clean it up real quick. And so here's a quick clip of us cleaning up that area of the creek. And let us know if you thought it looked too bad. To be quite honest, I thought it looked better longer rather than shorter. We're going to go through here and just knock it down as best we can. This is going to take a while. But look how tall this is. It's hard saying how many snakes we're going to tear up through here.
Right back.
So what are your thoughts on that grass? I want to be clear here. I did not cut the grass because we had a neighbor complain. I think it's nonsense. I cut the grass because it did look a little shaggy. I did let it get out of control, so I did take care of it. So a few weeks later, we got some more disturbing information. And here's the thing. At first, I must admit, we thought this was a joke, something being funny, somebody playing games with us, yada, yada, yada. But then we quickly realized someone is secretly watching our family while we're outside, whether we're home or rather we're away. So we received a note that they're going to turn us in to the HOA because we left our barn door open. And then also, we didn't bring our garbage can up to the road within like 2 or 3 days. Like, I've never heard of some of this stuff. So I actually got on the internet, started searching about HOAs. I did check our contract, our mortgage. There's nothing referencing HOAs anywhere. But check out how this is worded when it came to us. Titled HOA Violations. Eric, several of us in the HOA are unhappy with the attention your YouTube, Facebook page is drawing. We do not have a rule against what you are doing on social media, yet we will be reporting every violation we see, no matter how minor, until your family finds it financially better to move. So this past week, we noticed that not only did you leave the barn door open, but you also did not remove your trash can from the road within 24 hours specified in our HOA rules. So the subject of the email is tall grass violation. It reads, Eric, we are not sure if you have heard from Margaret yet. Wanted to inform you that we are continuing to see issues over at your property and the neighborhood is concerned. We have received many complaints about the upkeep of your lawn. As a part of the HOA, there are financial penalties when maintenance isn't maintained. We have received another complaint from Margaret due to the long grass hanging across your driveway, along with your grass being too long. We recommend it be corrected by October 15th, or you could receive a $1,000 fine for this violation. Legit or not, why are HOAs so flaky? Why do they care? Like, you and I and others throughout the world are spending their hard-earned money paying for a property. They got all these finicky rules. Like you buy a house, you buy a property, you should be able to do what you want with it. Let me know in the comments if you agree. Hold on though, it's not over yet. Wait till you hear this. While we were still battling COVID as a family, we received the most bizarre message. And that message came from an HOA. This time, they were threatening a $1,000 fine if we didn't clean up the weeds in our driveway. Check out this short clip. The weeds weren't even that long. Granted, it needed to be done, but they were threatening to fine us $1,000 if we didn't clean up these weeds and get them taken care of.
Switch to Liberty Mutual and save $652.
Hello.
Excuse me.
Blow it out of your
The
ass.
new best way to make money online that nobody's talking about is something you've never heard of before.
Fact.
It's using Audible. So these right here are real
Fact.
paychecks from Audible. They're not mine. They're my wife's because I showed my wife how to do this. But this first one here is for about $1,100. This one's for $3,000.
Oh,
This
fact.
one for also $3,000. This one for
Blow
$1,200.
it out of your ass.
$5,000, and yeah. So these are.
Motherfucker. Yeah, I just want to say that this sounds like racketeering and through nitpicking. This
Oh,
is
yeah.
a power game, the HOA. This is definitely a racket they're running. And this is what I said earlier in the show. What isn't dishonest nowadays in this country?
You know what? You know it's crazy, James Commodore. You know it's where I grew up. You know, although that's years ago. That's history. But I lived there long enough, and if people snitched and done things like that, you wouldn't get away with it. There were certain organizations, and I'll not mention their names. They would have come in, and you would either get punishment beatings or you'd have been shot in the knees. You know, and you just didn't do that to people. You know, because everybody was trying to survive. You know, and when you have like these HOA, and I've experienced them myself. You know, for all my years living in the United States, and I know what it's like. And it's so petty, and yeah, exactly, division. Yeah, exactly. You know, you get people snitching on people, and you know who's looking out their window, who's watching you, and why do they want to go and complain and say something, unless they're shitting in their grass or something, or whatever. Then yeah, sure, you get something to talk about. But for mediocre stuff, it fries my brain, because as I said, and I'll just lightly go back to it. And there's other places in the world, and I'm sure you guys have, been in a lot of places. You just don't get away with that stuff.
Well, the Irish, they had to deal with fucking England for hundreds of years, and that's the last thing they want to deal with, is their own kind ratting them out.
And that's what happened on many occasions. And unfortunately, for the silver dollar, many went to the sword, which it's sad, but it's true. I'm not telling any lies. It's just it's history,
The IRA still exists, right? The IRA.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go back to this poor guy. I mean, it's like, this is what's happening to Jason Cleveland.
Yeah, that's awful. I feel bad, and especially that those figures that was like $3,000, whatever. Man, we're just trying to survive.
I mean, I don't like it. I mean, if you're a homeowner, there's supposed to be very positive things connected with that to be a homeowner. Not
Right.
to have people spying on you constantly, watching everything you do.
Yeah, exactly.
come on. I mean, what's next? They're going to have binoculars looking at your bathroom to see if you're...
And do you know what? They probably do, James. That's how fucked up things are. Forgive my language. That's how messed up things are. They probably do have binoculars.
Yeah, it's an abuse of power, like a lot of things today. Abuse of authority.
Mm-hmm.
And, let's just see.
It's all going towards socialism, communism.
To make them happy, this poor man has to go through all this to get them off his fucking back. It's the HOA.
Wow.
So again, while I didn't necessarily care about the letter, I did care that the driveway did look a little sloppy. I like it to look tidy. So I went out, did some work. Sadly, I must admit, I have not had the energy or time to get out there and actually finish that cleanup. So that's something I still need to do, but I'll do it on my time. But here is where things cross a line. Now we have another threatening email from the HOA. So we just received this email that if we do not take care of our bushes, we are going to get fined $1,000 per bush. Check this out.
Per bush?
So here is the email. The subject, dead bush, HOA violation. Eric, we have submitted another complaint to Margaret, but wanted to inform you that we are continuing to see more issues over at your property, and the neighborhood is concerned. We have received many more complaints about the upkeep of your property. As a part of the HOA, there are financial penalties when maintenance isn't maintained. We noticed your smaller bushes over near the tree line are dead, and this is against HOA policy. You have 3 bushes that need to be replaced. 3 brown dead bushes that have been sitting there for months is ridiculous. They should be alive and well kept. The fine for upkept bushes is $1,000 per bush. We recommend it be corrected by November 15, or you will receive a $3,000 fine. Clean up your property. No signature, no nothing. What kind of nonsense is that? I got thinking, I don't even see 3 dead bushes in front of our house. Then I read it again and realized it's on the side of the house. Yeah, we'll clean it up all right. We're going to clean up just for you, and you're not going to like it. So we're going to...
Eric should find himself a really good lawyer.
Yeah.
And document and save every letter and email that they send to him. I'm serious. This is $1,000 a bush. Now we're talking about racketeering.
Walk up here to the house. I'm going to show you these 3 bushes or 3 little trees on the side of the house. Matter of fact, why do you recommend I buy these? Granted, they haven't lived. Granted, maybe I could pull them out. Maybe I could get them to grow again. I have no idea. But this is cross the line, and I'm going to take care of it right here. So here are the bushes in question. I call them trees. There's some kind of fancy name for them that all of you told me. As you can see, these are dead. The road's right there. So it is an eyesore, but they think this is unacceptable. They think that these should be removed. I got the perfect solution. You may be thinking, Eric, what are you doing? You're going to just pull those out? No, it's better than that. I called Jessica and said, hey, I need you to do me a favor. Pick me up a couple things at the hardware store. So that's what she did. We're going to grab it right now. And here's what we got, folks. She picked me up some spray paint. So trees already dead. They want them to not look dead. They want to play games. We're going to paint these. Here we go. We got premium spray enamel. We want to play games. We're going to paint us some trees, and they'll turn green.
Honey, I don't know. I don't think maybe you should do this.
Do it. Don't listen to your wife.
Why? I am sick of the harassment, and we're doing it. What are they going to do? Fine us? They're make-believe fines?
Right? Yeah.
Say like this. HOA, this is for you. We got a red tree or a brown tree. Now we're going to have a green tree. We'll be in the Christmas spirit, the HOA spirit. Should I do the whole thing or just the road facing side?
No, spray it up good.
Probably just the road facing.
No, don't listen to her. Spray it up good.
angry neighbors, HOA. Like, people need to mind their own business.
Mind their own fucking business. That's right.
Absolutely.
Play hardball. Play hardball, man.
See what Margaret thinks about this.
Yeah.
She wants me to comply. They can't say it's gonna look dead now.
Tell her to stick the bush up her ass. And
Well, here we go, my friends. We just finished up. Got it painted.
Oh, it looks
How
good.
does that look, Margaret?
I love
We
it.
checked it out from the house. Looks pretty good. So should we paint these two as well? How does that work out for you, Margaret?
Paint it. Don't
Everyone
listen
at the
to you.
HOA. But my guess is all this started from this video right here.
Growing up, my family struggled to make ends meet. But if you worked hard, you could do better than your parents. That's the American dream. Now that dream is out of reach for too many. That's why we're cutting taxes and making New Jersey more affordable. Join us.
Hi, I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, founder and CEO of Lumi, the aluminum-free deodorant for everyone's everything. We're talking armpits, lady bits, under the testicles, the chesticles, the butt cracks, and sweaty backs. Also feet. So why am I hanging out between these stirrups? This is where Lumi was born. As a woman, I have spent my fair share of time in this seat, self-conscious about my bottom half draft, also my feet. And as an OBGYN, I've seen countless patients who've been overdiagnosed for odor below the belt.
It's your vagina's fault.
Antibiotics are often overprescribed whenever there's a concern about odor. I knew this never-ending vagina blame game was lazy and much more often than not, wrong. So I started to think outside the box and worked my smelly butt off to prove that the problem wasn't in the vagina, it's on the skin, and it's everywhere. It's bacteria.
Bacteria was my father. Call me Carl.
Kind of cute for a sweat, blood, and semen-eating organism. You see, depending on the fluids Carl eats from your below-the-belt buffet,
Sweat cargo.
different odors emerge. So it's not even really you that smells. It's Carl. Lumi attacks odor at the source, stopping Carl from eating in the first place.
Hey, Lumi.
Hey, Carl. Up top.
Okay.
Just click the link to slay your stink forever. Lumi is the world's first whole body deodorant, stopping BO before it even happens.
Yeah.
72 hours stink-free everywhere on your body. His big deodorant's worst nightmare. You see, most big brands want to bully you into trying a bunch of different products that will only cover up Carl for a few hours. So you have to keep buying and applying, and I've never liked bullies. The world deserved a better, different deodorant. One for all. It took me 10 years to perfect Lumi. And after all the blood, sweat, stink, and tears,
Yum. Got me poop.
we proved Lumi was 6 times more effective than other leading natural deodorants. Lumi is aluminum-free, baking soda-free, and hypoallergenic. So you can use it on your most sensitive skin, from the pits to the balls of your feet. Rather than just trying to cover up odor with aggressive scents, Lumi smells like a brief, fleeting whiff of science, and then nothing at all, like the back of your hand. We have tens of thousands of 5-star reviews and a 60-day money-back guarantee because we expect you to expect more.
Now that's confidence.
So click the link to enjoy a world without body stink with Lumi, the better, different, everywhere deodorant.
There you go.
The HOA is trying to ruin Christmas.
Hey, Commodore, finally, deodorant for the testicles. How about that?
$4,000 fine. A few weeks ago, we were notified by an alleged HOA that keeps harassing us. They're going to fine us $3,000 if we didn't remove some dead bushes from our yard. So we have received a ton of feedback from all of you, and we appreciate it, that this HOA stuff has to be bogus, because all the land we have, 20 acres, there's no way there'd be an HOA in existence. And plus, HOI typically wouldn't send this stuff via email. So when we got the notice about our bushes, we figured we'd be creative, and we turned them back to life just like magic. Some call this complying. I call it spray painting them green, and I'll call it being a smart. Following that video, you guys dropped so many comments, and we are so appreciative of it. But we like some of the ideas that you guys expressed. One in particular that was hilarious was painting them red, white, and blue. We had one that was paint them pink. We had some that were just like tear them out. But then we had some that, Eric, go get some Christmas lights and decorate them. So that's exactly what we did. The boys and I got in the vehicle. We headed up to Home Depot a couple weeks ago, and we decided we're going to look for some lights. We had to find battery operated lights, and we found the perfect set. I think what we'll do is we'll grab some of these. We have three trees, 100 lights on each one. And try this. So this is our motion. This should make the neighbors happy. So on our way home from getting those Christmas lights, I received a phone call from a good friend in the area that said he heard one of the neighbors just built a small go-kart track, and they were contacted by the local township and stated if they don't shut down their activity with their friends on the weekend, they're going to be charged $500 per day for basically operating an illegal business. I thought, what the heck? Now, I know a lot of you may be sitting there thinking, no way. So I questioned it as well, and wait to hear what I'm going to share here in a second. But I went to the website for the township, looked at their agenda, because typically anything for the township is hot topic, they'll put on their agenda. And sure enough, looking on their website, revealed they were going to be talking further about go-kart track and violations. This immediately got my mind racing because it brought back memories of 2 years ago when the township was really screwing with us. And I haven't shared this on video, but this big red barn that we have on our property, I thought, what a great opportunity to give back to the community, to put money in the community, to give people jobs to the community, just to showcase our Stagecoach property and the history of the property. We want to turn this into a wedding venue. So we went to the township, said, look, I want to update this barn. We want to turn this into a wedding venue. And we got so much grief because we are in residential zone 3, and that type of activity is not permitted. If you want an exemption, there is a process where you go through the planning board and kind of go through and say that you want to do this business or that business. But they did tell me it's a long fight and good luck on winning. You could tell they had no desire for us to get that going. If we did not obey the rules, we would get fined if we decided to do it without permission. You may say, Eric, what does that have to do with the HOA? Well, don't you find it a little unique that the HOA, allegedly HOA, is giving us grief? And the township is giving everyone grief. Well, anybody do anything new? Keep in mind, the neighbor down the road that wanted to have the go-kart track, 70 acres of land, and they cannot permit a go-kart track that's not allowed and it's not safe or whatever nonsense they came up with. Once I got home with the kids, I was clearly frustrated. Frustrated for the neighbor, brought back those memories of trying to stand up the wedding venue. And I decided, you know what? It's snowing out. We're going to go out and put these lights on the tree and have a good old day. So we got these battery operated lights here. I didn't think there'd be enough, but actually I think it's not going to be too bad. Man, these are actually going to go good. I didn't think there'd be enough, and there's going to be plenty.
Attention homeowners. Can we install one of our designer metal roofs on your home? We're looking.
So right now we got them blinking, but we're going to turn them solid. Turn them solid. This little controller. They're dancing. There. Hope Margaret likes this tree. She's an old hag. HOA nonsense. I tell you, I thought about painting them, but your guys' ideas here on doing lights is going to look amazing, especially in the snow. That is, it's hoping I received this note from the HOA. Here is that email I received. HOA violation section 2.1.1b. Eric, this is Margaret. I've been contacted several times about your non-compliance to several violations that are part of our HOA. It's apparent you continue to not take us seriously by spray painting your bushes versus removing them or replacing them, not to mention you did one versus all three. Well, first off, we got an email finally from Margaret, allegedly, and they're literally arguing about not doing the other two trees. She goes on to say, as you are well aware, you would have signed a paper during the purchase of your home that clearly states that you are going to adhere to the HO guidelines and yearly fees, which you haven't paid. So I went back through all of our mortgage paperwork. I can't find anything about HOA anywhere. I went through those things twice. I had Jessica go through it. We have no paperwork on the HOA, so of course I haven't paid any fees, nor would I even buy a house that was in an HOA. And they go on to say, I'm afraid based on your most recent actions, we are issuing another fine up to $4,000, $500 per day, as you violated section 21B that states Christmas decorations cannot be illuminated prior to December 1st. Based on complaints within the neighborhood, it's evident you seem to think you are above the laws. Let me be clear here. I am not above any law. That's not the point. The point is, this is all hogwash, just like every other HOA that's in the country. It's ridiculous. I own property. I'm going to do what I want, when the hell I want to do it. Then they go on to say, finally, based on the failure to pay these fines, along with the fact you're well over $5,000 in fines on these collective issues, we will be filing a court order to collect these fees. Feel free to respond to this email with any questions or arrangements for payment. We hope you and your family have a Merry Christmas. Margaret. You talk about being condescending. As far as I'm concerned, Margaret can pound sand, and Margaret can fine whoever she wants, whenever she wants, because I am not paying a damn thing. So this is really getting ridiculous, and this is downright harassment. I'm going to figure out who Margaret is. But first, we get a message from an angry neighbor stating that we need to clean up our creek, which that wasn't HOA related, just allegedly anonymous neighbor. We cleaned it up, as you can see here. Then we received another one about leaving our garage door open and leaving the trash can at the road for too many days without taking it up to the house. And then to make things worse, we got an email while I'm recovering from COVID threatening to pay a fine if we don't clean the weeds up in our driveway and do some edging. So I did take care of that, but the thing is, this is all nonsense. You don't mess with other people, and they are messing with the wrong person. My question is, what do you do when the email gets bounced back that the email box is no longer accepting messages or has been deleted? Of course, then we have the classic situation of the 3 dead bushes where we spray painted the one green. Remember my comment earlier about the township? Don't you find it a little odd that the neighbor down the road has 70 acres? You can't have a go-kart track. Just have fun with his friends and family. 70 acres. Remember when I went to the township, I want to do a wedding venue, and they basically said, don't bother, you're in residential zone 3. Now, the continued harassment of the HOA, who's behind it? If you think this video is crazy, make sure you watch this one next.
I would mail this old bag Margaret a cease and desist letter.
Fucking Margaret? Yeah, fuck. Wow. That's crazy.
I would send they have to cease and desist letter. Anybody out there that's being harassed by bill collectors, collection agency, you send the proper cease and desist letter. They have to cease and desist from contacting you. This nitpicking is racketeering, in my opinion, with the HOA nationwide, and the fact that they're getting away with it, it's just incredible. I guess BC is having some Wi-Fi issues, but come back, BC, and tell us about if you're barbecuing for dinner or if you're drinking something, and you want to show what you're drinking. It should be.
Yeah, where'd he go? He had it off for a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, he took it off. In his situation, usually, if you live out in the country, usually a cloudy sky, an overcast sky is bad for Wi-Fi.
Right.
If you got a absolute clear sky, Wi-Fi usually works very well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me see what we got here. Oh, look at that. So, HOA, Chisley's Hall of Shame inductee. What did I talk about before that? What do you call Wells Fargo.
Yeah.
Second inductee into the Chisley's Hall of Shame. Now we have the online car purchasing craze with the app called Vroom.
Never seen as many Teslas in my life. It's like unbelievable. Have you seen many up in your neck of the woods where you guys?
Well, no, but I'll tell you one thing. There's been complaints.
I thought the Prius was bad. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He's the wheel of truth today.
No, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. First things first.
All right.
Got the EBGBs. He's got the EBGBs. Gotta get this.
No, but those HOAs are they're full of crap. It's it's like full of crap. Even let me say it better. It's like unbelievable.
Yeah, no, it's definitely.
Oh, here we go.
Definitely racketeering. It's definitely racketeering. Vroom. Okay. Online car dealership Vroom leaves customers in limbo, allegedly not the first time. In Lexington, Kentucky, customers of the online car dealer Vroom are furious with the company after experiencing a host of issues and struggling to reach the company. Vroom allows users to buy and sell cars online. Larry Martin decided to give it a try. I wanted a new car, and I searched online within a 200-mile radius of Lexington, and not one dealer had what I wanted, said Martin. Vroom had exactly what I wanted. All right. He got the car he purchased in February. The car he traded in was picked up by the company a week later, and Martin said he didn't think anything of it. Martin says he was told that he would get a check within 3 to 4 business days when your car has been picked up. Vroom's website says they'll process the payment and send a check within 2 to 3 business days via overnight mail. It's now 3 months later, and they're still on the hook for almost $23,000 of Martin's hard-earned cash. He also says he hasn't been able to get in contact with the company. Oh, wow. How crooked these companies are nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
I call them, I email them, and I get what sounds like a call center in India. Oh, talk about not dealing with irate customers, right? They're nice people, but they're absolutely no help. Oh, of course not. We are very sorry. We apologize for what you're going through. That's what you're going to hear, said Martin. Martin's traded-in car was listed on Vroom's website for sale on April 14th. The photo on the website had the same VIN number as his car. To me, this is car theft. You're damn right it is. There should be a law against that. There is, said Martin. There is, Martin. Amanda Patrick tells Amanda Patrick Tells found herself, oh, that's her name, found herself in a similar situation when she tried to return a car she bought from Vroom because the car she got was not what she thought she purchased. They stuck her with something else. The car, well, the online photo of the car was pristine. They did mention a scuff on the rim and scratch. Then Patrick says there was scratches, there was tiny scratches all over the car. All right, so we have very bad, to say the least, customer service coming from Vroom. So shame on you, Vroom. You are the third inductee into the Chislers Hall of Shame. Well, over here, over in my town, there's Audis, BMWs, Mercedes, Bentleys, Rolls Royce, and Ferraris, so on and so forth. Hello, enjoy the decline.
Yeah, when I was growing up in Ireland, we had the old Ford Escort. We had a 2-door or 4-door, you know. My mother had a 2-door Ford Escort, but they used to use them in the rallies. You know, that was the car for the rallies back in the day.
I had a Ford Taurus until I lost it in a flash flood.
Yeah, I used to have a Ford Taurus as well, hatchback. I had burgundy color. Loved that thing. Bought it for $3,000 years ago, and man, that thing would have went well. Only my ex, she was driving it. I was driving the other car at the time, but she was driving it, and she let it run out of oil and just killed the whole engine. And the thing just got scrapped, you know. I don't know how she didn't realize, you know, but hey, what do you do? But, you know, I bought that in a parking lot, you know, it was for sale. It only had like 67,000 miles on it. You know, it was a great car.
Well, I liked my Ford Taurus, and it had automatic climate control and everything, you know.
Oh, you got one of the newer ones then? One of the new models are beautiful.
No, it was a late model, but it was. I know the new cars have all USB ports and everywhere, which is nice.
Yeah.
But anyway, let me get this over with. This is an article by Jesse Ventura, former governor of Minnesota.
Yeah, we talked about him 2 weeks ago. Right?
Yeah, and pro wrestler. Let debt be thy medicine. For-profit healthcare is killing us all. For profit, okay. Being sick sucks. Being sick and broke sucks even more. But that, my friend, is where millions upon millions of U.S. citizens find themselves today, all thanks to our antiquated and vicious for-profit healthcare industry. A new joint study conducted by Kaiser Health News and NPR has discovered that healthcare costs in the United States has left more than 100 million citizens across the country in debt. Yes, you read that right. 100 million. And that includes 41% of all U.S. adults. So how did the quote, unquote watchdogs and our illustrious elected officials miss this rather massive debt crisis? Okay, and how did they, well, let's see. Well, according to Noam Levy of KHN, much of the debt that patients accrue is hidden as credit card balances, loans from family or payment plans to hospitals and other medical providers. In fact, new polling and research has revealed that not only have more than half of U.S. adults gone into debt because of medical or dental bills in the last 5 years, but roughly a quarter of adults now owe more than $5,000 in healthcare debt. Drilling down even further and sounding an awful lot like those suffering under student loan debt crisis.
So sometimes you got to pull a chapter 7 if you're that deep in the shit, you know.
You got to. You got to.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Chapter 7 and cease and desist letter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's this is the nature of having everything privatized for profit.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the problem.
Wow. Yeah, some people are struggling, man. It's you wouldn't even know.
Oh yeah, they're student loans as well as people who had to face catastrophic illness.
Mm-hmm.
And their life savings were totally zapped, totally depleted. Yeah. Commodore's talking about the Sanford and Son car that had loads of junk in it, and there was barely any room for the driver. That's what he's referring to. Yeah, I called it the Sanford and Son car, and it was like there was not one available inch of space in this vehicle except for the driver, who would have been totally wedged in by the garbage. There is a psychiatric disorder, which I happen to think all they need is a smack up alongside the head and a swift kick in the ass. But they call it hoarder. They call them hoarders.
Man, fucking fire disaster.
Yeah, they're hoarders. They're hoarders, and also, you know, the shows on TV about obese people that are bedridden, and everybody's supposed to accept them as an alternative lifestyle, and everybody's supposed to feel sorry for them. Who the hell is bringing them all the garbage food?
Right.
If they can't get around, if they're not able to get around on their own, there has to be enablers.
Right.
So-called friends and relatives bringing them the garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carvana is guilty too. Yes, absolutely. Highway robbery, no pun intended. Well, they want, you know, you have a point. These parents, let's say they're middle class and they have kids, and they want their kids to go to a better school. Oh, I want my child to graduate from a famous university, an Ivy League school. Oh, my child will not go to a community college. My child will not go to a state college. I want my child to go to a good college. Well, guess what? You have a champagne taste with a beer wallet. If you don't have the cash, it was not meant to be. And that goes for people that charge up their credit cards to the max. I'm not talking about necessities like, oh, the refrigerator just broke down, or the furnace in my house just broke down. I'm talking about people that just they have to live high on a hog, and they do not have the means to pay it off. Send your kid to technical school. Send them to a state college. Get a grant to go to a state college, or community colleges. I think they're pushing for 4 years, I think, in a community college now. So Commodore has a point, but the Ivy League schools are still crooks for charging the tuition they charge. And I would tax the fucking hell out of them. Anybody, any institution, any entity that makes high income should pay their fair share in taxes, or move the fuck out of the country if you don't like it. You know?
Yeah, Commodore's got a good point there.
Yeah, the Clinton Foundation is one of the best charities in the world, with an endowment of $300 million and over 2,000 employees. Yeah, but didn't like Hillary use some of that money for personal use? Like let's say
personally, I can't stand the Clintons.
I mean, for Chelsea's wedding reception or something, I think they're
crooks. They're fucking crooks.
I think she dipped into that big cookie jar, the Clinton Foundation cookie jar.
They've been dipping all their lives, from Arkansas to the White House. You know what I mean? Fucking, I'll say no more.
They had 4 years and eat in the cafeteria at a university. Okay, poor people have to work and pay taxes for irresponsible, entitled students, and their parents are just as bad. It's just like nowadays when a girl turns, when she graduates high school or when she gets her driver's license, she expects daddy or mommy or both to co-sign for a brand new, fancy, expensive car, brand new, because she doesn't want to be embarrassed. She's afraid that the other girls will tease her. Her friends will tease her for driving a used car. Okay, so they have to have the best. They don't want to work their way up to the best. They want to start with the best. Meanwhile, I had to buy my first used car. It was a Plymouth.
Oh, Plymouth
Duster? No, wait a minute. That was the the Dodge Dart and the Plymouth Valiant or Duster, or they called them the K cars. I had to get one of those. Okay, yeah. I wasn't happy about it, but you know.
I had a blue 1983 Volvo. I called it Blue Thunder. You know, it was like a fucking tank, big square Volvo.
Square.
Man, big steering wheel, bunchy seats. That was a fucking great car, man.
Yeah, but Volvos are well known for being very durable vehicles.
Yeah, I wish I had it now. It's an antique. You know?
Can you imagine?
I gave it away. To somebody.
You know what cars are durable as hell too? The original made in Germany Volkswagen Beetles.
Oh yeah. Oh, the old Beetles. Mm-hmm. Freeze your ass off in the winter.
Well, you gotta warm them up, and you have to open up the duct, and the heat comes off the engine, and you gotta let it idle until the heat starts coming off the engine.
Oh, classics.
All right, let's see what this is about. I hope it's a video. Well, it's not a video, but I'm sure we'll get the gist of it. I'm not gonna be reading any Gettysburg Address articles. From now on, I'm gonna stick to summarizing the article or videos. I'm not gonna strain my throat. Okay, here's one. Okay. Amazon employees in Maryland say they were fired for organizing workers. And believe me, the abuse that Amazon employees have to put up with, including all of retail and other jobs, they deserve to form unions and have organized labor, because he runs a sweatshop, Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, you know what? And you know what? Let me jump on here quickly, James.
Yeah, sure.
I went at one time I was going to be a driver for one of the franchises, for Amazon here in Dulles in Virginia, and I saw, like, see that picture you're showing now? That looks really nice. That's one girl putting a box on some type of conveyor belt or whatever it is.
Right.
You should see it. You should see 1,000 people, and you said the right word there now, sweatshop, and they're all just crammed in, and it's just they're in motion. It's unbelievable to see. It's like totally wrong. You know what I mean? Sorry, I don't mean to get off point.
No, I know, it's okay. The company is facing fresh accusations of violating labor law. So they're blatantly violating labor law.
I saw it with my own eyes a few years ago. I never, I finished all my training for the job. I never took the job after it. I went back, on my pest control stuff again. But man, that's a sweatshop. That's like something you'd see in fucking Beijing or somewhere to get. It's like.
But just take a look at the arrogance of these multi-billionaires in this country that challenge labor laws, federal laws. Like it could be something like Mark Zuckerberg turning his nose up at the First Amendment and censoring people. Jeff Bezos turning his nose up at labor laws. Like, all these multi-billionaires are scofflaws that think they're above the law because they're arrogant, narcissistic scumbags. They think they're above the law, and that the law does not apply to them. And as long as their feet are not held to the fire and no one is held accountable, they will continue the epidemic of evil. Thank you, Jason Cleveland.
Yeah, true enough, Jason. Yeah.
Amazon warehouse workers can't even go to the bathroom unless it's break time. So what does that mean? They have to wear diapers?
Carry a bottle.
They do that in China, I hear, mainland China. So Bezos, the dildo-headed scumbag, piece of shit, probably found out that they do it at Foxconn in mainland China. And they have to wear Depends, and unbelievable. I really, it's really incredible.
We don't even know. We don't even know half of what's going on. Conditions. You know what I mean? It's like fucking nuts. It's like shocking.
It is, and it gets worse.
Yeah.
And it gets worse. I got something here. Let's see if I can find it. It's not here anymore. Okay. No. Oh, here we go. Let me try it. This is interesting.
I've been getting paid $1,000 a month, if not more.
Hi, I'm Steph. Okay. Now this man is in Ireland. He's an Irish gentleman. And it has to do with, you'll find this interesting, Colin. It has to do with the complaints coming back in multitudes concerning the electric vehicles today. Concerning the electric car. We are not yet at the technology level to say that the electric car is here to stay, and it's going to replace the internal combustion engine. The technology is not here yet. And people are rushing out there, and the government politicians are rushing into it.
I just don't get it.
It's
I'm a blue collar guy. I just don't get it. You know.
I mean, it's fine.
It's common sense. You know, yeah. G.K. Chesterton. You know, G.K. Chesterton. You know, he talked about common sense, but he also said common sense isn't too common these days.
No, it's not too common. But the point is, I don't mind if the technology is there, and they say, okay, we're ready to mass produce electric cars. The internal combustion engine is hereby obsolete. It's therefore obsolete. We're ready with no and there's no complaints. But the problem is, and you'll see from this video, the problem is that the battery is not adequate yet. The range, when you fully charge that big lithium battery in an electric car, the range is not long enough. You'll get stuck somewhere. Number one. Number two, if your battery is half full of electricity, just 50%, it takes over a half hour to fill it to charge it. Then you have to wait on a long line at the charging station. After you wait on the long line and you plug it in, then you have to wait half hour. Sometimes as long as an hour to charge the entire lithium battery. People are not happy about this.
Yeah. Commodore, I agree. I agree with Commodore too. It's a load of crap.
And you know what? And guess what? The charging stations are not accepting, for some bizarre reason, are not accepting credit cards.
It's all part of this new fucking Green New Deal crap that they're talking about, and I don't go for it at all. You know, we've got this far, you know, and whatever country we were born in or we've lived in all our lives, we've got this far. We hard graft, you know, working hard, you know, with our fuels, this, that, and the other. All this stuff that they're trying to impose on us now is a lot of crap.
Well, I don't look. I
don't, you know, don't get me wrong, you know, I don't mind, you know, moving forward and, you know, new things coming in, but the pace that they're trying to impose it, I say that word again, impose it upon us is just like ridiculous.
Well, they're rushing it. I mean, listen, I don't mind if you can charge a lithium battery in an electric car for the same amount of time you can fill a tank with gasoline. I don't mind that. I don't mind if the battery doesn't overheat and catch on fire. I don't mind that. I do mind. Well, if a battery charged fast, there wouldn't be lines waiting to get into a charging station. There wouldn't be long lines. And the distance, if the distance was decent on a fully charged lithium battery, I wouldn't mind. But we don't have that yet. Hey, Bart Robinson, welcome, sir. We're having a heat wave, as you well know.
And Sir James, that's what they were talking about as well, you know, about all these people, especially out in California, you know, plugging their cars into the electrical system. They're talking about possible blackouts.
Yeah.
Whether it's a policy or not, you know, I don't know, but that's what they're talking about.
Yeah. Well, he's right about Ted Cruz. He tried to skip the state of Texas when they had the power outage, the blackout, and people were freezing to death in their homes. Yeah, I remember that, Jason.
Yeah, no, I remember too, Jason. But, you know, well, what are you going to do? Ted Cruz is, I always think, one of the better ones. But, you know, what are you going to do?
Well, he's an evangelical. He's a religious nut. You know, he takes it too far. But let's see what the Irishman is.
Hi, I'm Stavros. Good morning and welcome to St. Stephen's Green Shopping Centre here in Dublin. I'm here to pick up this 211 registration Tesla Model 3. And I'm going to give it a little bit of a test drive. And yeah, I'm going to hire this car, see what it's like. there's been an awful lot of talk about these cars, so I've never driven one before, so I'm going to take one out and see what they're like. Yeah, and I have a bit of sad news about my Honda E. Yeah, it's gone. So, is this going to replace it? Am I saying goodbye to electric cars? Can this change my mind? I don't know. I decided to hire one to find out. Bit noisy here. They're doing power washing next door there. So yeah, UFO Drive here in St. Stephen's Green Shopping Centre. Tesla Model 3. Let's take it for a drive. See what it's like. Okay, so I'm just going to unplug it here. It's still locked. Anyway, we'll hop inside. And yeah, a nice flush door handle here. Now it says on the screen that we have, I think it's 415 kilometers of range. Yeah, there you go. 415 kilometers of range. Nice big screen here. We have all the wood trim. Nice soft touch plastics up here as well on the dashboard. And also down here. There is no USBs. There's 2 USB-Cs back here for the backseat passengers. This is rattling. So, not good. New car. And yeah, it's pretty nicely finished. Other than that, now we have 2. I'm guessing these are charging pads. Yeah, because there's no USBs here for the front passengers. So yeah, I don't have wireless charging on my phone. But yeah, they're a pretty nice car. I don't really know the idea of this sort of a magnet thing. I don't know why that's like that, but yeah. Yeah, so pretty nice car. We're going to see what it's like. And we're going to go down to Portlaoise, which is about 85 kilometers away. And we're going to see what sort of range we have left from our 415 kilometers. So we'll see what it's like on the road. This is the standard Tesla Model 3. So yeah, don't really like the steering wheel. It looks very cheap, like something you'd see on a Dacia Sandero or something. Yeah, not a nice steering wheel at all. But yeah, I do like the handles here. It's a kind of a electronic opening. It kind of pops open there when you press the handle. Kind of gives it a little bit of an opening there just on the button. So I like that. And then you can just manually open it here with a handle. So that's quite nice. And then you get this warning screen then, look. May cause damage to window trim if you manually open it. What sort of nonsense is that? But yeah, and if you want to open the glove box, you have to press this button here to open the glove box. What is the idea of that? I've no idea why that's there. Why isn't there a button on the glove box itself? But yeah, it's pretty I have an all leatherette finish here on the seats as well. The back seats, they're okay. I sat in them earlier. There's about 1.5 inches of headroom in the back. And we also have a pull-down armrest there as well with cup holders on it. And yeah, we have a flat floor in the back as well. Legroom is only just okay behind my driving position. Not that great. So yeah, I do like the sunroof. Yeah, it's like a panoramic, goes the whole way across. So yeah, I'm gonna hit the road. Let's see what it's like. Just as well, I watched the little video that shows you how to disconnect it. There was a small little button on top of the charging cable. You got to press it and then wait for the blue light, and then it is unlocked. So yeah, I think we'll see. Okay, let's put it into D. There is no handbrake release button, so I'd imagine you just drive off. This is the app, by the way. So yeah, you just put that on your phone and you can lock and unlock the car. I have buzzing noises here. I have my indicators coming on. I don't know what is the story. Why is it buzzing? I don't have the hazard lights on. Why is it buzzing? I have no idea. I'm gonna just drive forward a bit. Is that gonna shut up? Is it going to shut up? Have I got a door open? Maybe the bonnet is still open, is it? I have no idea. Put it into P. I'm going to try the bonnet.
There's a buzzing noise happening. The indicators are flashing. Now the mirrors are going in and out. I've no clue what's wrong with this car. Huh? Oh, hang on. Oh, we got a regenerative braking temporarily reduced. Regen will increase as vehicle is driven. Is there anything else I need to know? I don't often drive American cars. What is going on? I have an unlock. Is this going to shut up? Please shut up. Is that it? Is that it? No, it's still going. What's going on with this thing? Is it going to shut up? Please. Is that it? Is that it? Okay, finally it has shut itself up. But St. Stephen's Green Shopping Centre is looking well. I was in there earlier on just getting a few presents for my nephew and nieces. So, yeah, it's looking good inside. If a bit dated looking, but still nice shopping centre. Oh, look at this, look. It's even, look. You see that? It's detecting the pedestrian. You see that? Look, even the guy on the bicycle, look. See the guy on the bicycle? It's detecting them as well. Yeah, pretty cool. So what I really want to touch on in this video is just the charging network and the headaches that I had using it with the Honda E. So the Honda E had a very short range. I mean, it never reached the WLTP figure at all. 220 kilometers from its 35.5 kilowatt hour battery pack. It never did reach anywhere close to that figure.
Turn left onto Patrick Street, Sra in Fodrick.
Yeah, so 120 odd miles claimed range, but I really only ever got about 85 miles. So yeah, it was about 35 miles off what it had claimed it had. And yeah, I wasn't too happy with that. But the car itself, really did like the car, had no problem with the car. Okay, small boot, small rear space. But other than that, I loved all the tech. I loved all the preheating and yeah, heated steering wheel and seats and all of that. I really did like that, but the charging network let it down. And you would have seen in videos that I shot, especially the one where I did 1,000 miles in the Honda E. Took me 29 hours and 24 minutes. Yeah, you will see the problems that I had with the ESB network. Now, the Tesla network, there's not enough of them in Ireland. Yeah, I've driven enough around to know that there's just not enough of these charge stations getting fitted in Ireland. Oh, I have to leave the horse go by. That's nice. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's plenty of pickup in this car. Look at this. Ooh, that is nice. Nice pickup. You will encounter this if you're buying an electric car. As great as they are, you will have such a headache at the charge stations. All this hanging around. And then the next thing, you know, you're going to pull into a charge station. Your wife, girlfriend, or partner is going to be beside you. And you're going to encounter people ahead of you at the chargers. And she's going to turn around to you and say, how long are we going to be here? And then you're going to say, what you want to say is probably an hour. But then you say, oh, probably 45 minutes. No, it's not. It's going to be over an hour by the time they're finished. And by the time I'm charged in, it's going to be so long. Yeah. So what you're also going to encounter is when you're driving into a charge station.
Now turn right onto Parnell Road.
You're going to have that real awful feeling in your stomach where you're just, how many people are ahead of me? Is there anyone at the chargers? Is there a problem with the charger? Yes, you will face all of these things when you buy your electric car. But would I buy one? Would I buy one of these? Well, I wouldn't, of course, because it's full electric. I'm gone. I am gone from full electric. So this is where some of you have already turned off the video, because I'm gone back to combustion, albeit it is a hybrid car. It's not a plug-in hybrid. Maybe in the future I'll get a plug-in hybrid, but no, I'm gone back to combustion. No plugging in, no charging, no nothing. Okay, we're nearly up to motorway speed limit here now, around 120 kilometers, and the suspension, not the best on this car. I've said it already, it's not very comfortable, and there's a lot of road noise. Yeah, if you were thinking of buying one of these cars, you definitely need to test drive one, maybe hire one at UFO, and yeah, just that suspension, I couldn't buy this car with this suspension. And even over bumps during the city drive there, it's just boom, boom, hard. No, the suspension on this car would definitely let it down big time, in my opinion. The steering is good, feels direct. Yeah, the seat is comfortable, driving position is good. I've got decent knee room here as well, that's okay. I'm 6'2", I've got plenty of headroom. So, and a noisy armrest. Okay. But yeah, we haven't got too far to go now. We pull in and then talk about more charging. Okay, we're just pulling into the Supermax Plaza here in Portlaoise. Now, we could have pulled into Junction 14, where they have 4 fast chargers, but I decided not to do that. So I can see here there are 2 electric cars charging ahead of me. So this is what you're going to encounter. This is what I was talking about. You come in and there's people ahead of you. Now, I have no idea how long they're there. I could go onto the ESB app and it would give me an idea, but oh, hang on a minute now. Look at this. There's 2 people charging at the one charger. Now, I'm curious to see how they're able to do that, because I tried that before and it wouldn't work for me. And sometimes it doesn't work where you're charging 2 cars at the same time. So I'm just going to ask those people, are they actually getting charged in both those cars at the same time? Because this is an issue with these chargers as well, where even though they have 2 cables, CCS and Type 2, you can't charge 2 cars at the same time. But one of them is a Nissan Leaf, so it could be charging on CHAdeMO. There could be a CHAdeMO cable, maybe. I really like the reversing camera. That's very good in this car. Okay, we have this man pulling out in his Nissan Leaf and the Hyundai Kona. So these 2 cars were able to charge at the same time. And the only reason for that is that he was charging in CHAdeMO and he was charging on CCS. If he had chosen Type 2, he wouldn't have been able to charge, because there's something wrong with these chargers, the way you can't charge on Type 2 and CCS at the same time. So, yeah, just another problem you will encounter when you buy an electric car. And by the way, the Nissan Leaf pulled in here as well, and he couldn't use the CHAdeMO because there seems to be some issue with it. So I'm not sure what the issue is, but he could not charge. And yeah, so we have CCS, CHAdeMO, and Type 2. So yeah, I'm going to charge this up. Now, it doesn't give a percentage what's left in the battery pack. It just shows you the amount of kilometers you've left to drive. So in this case, we have 288. Now, we arrived here at 289 kilometers and 85 kilometers to get down here. We left at 415 kilometers. That means it took 126 kilometers of range from the battery pack to drive 85 kilometers. So that is a 41 kilometer discrepancy. Somebody's after leaving their child seat here as well. If you want the free child seat, there's one in Portlaoise. Okay, we need to open up the charge port, so I need to press on that. Yeah, okay. Let's. I'm just curious to see how quick it charges. So, let's just get our card here and swipe it. Look, that's only available. Look, so this is what I'm talking about. Firsthand, another problem with the charger. Like, what is going on with the ESP and these chargers? So the guy in the Nissan Leaf told me there was a problem with this, but I thought he was trying to use one of the other cables. But now it seems that only AC is available. So let me cancel that again and just click it again. This is absolutely ridiculous. Here, let's move over there and see can we charge this bloody thing. Okay, so let's swipe here. And we want CCS. Okay, now there should be no issues at all with this one, because the man in the corner was able to charge no problem. And you see these electric cars, well, apparently you have to keep this pressed in until there is a proper connection. Okay? So, okay, swipe the card. Okay, checking card. Come on, come on. Is it going to work? Give us a green light, give us a green light. Is it working? Oh, shit. Huh? Come on. Oh, is it going to go green? Come on.
It's flashing.
It's flashing, but is it charging? Oh, we have contact! Hallelujah! And lights are still flashing. For what? I don't know. Why are the lights flashing? Okay, we're 69%. Okay, about 5 minutes later, and the display is showing that we have 35 minutes to charge, to fully charge. So we found out why the child seat is left here. A child got sick in it. So they just dumped it here. What the hell? By the way, I'm not responsible for any of the curbing here. Yeah, all 4 wheels are curbed, as I said, and I have photos taken, and I put them on the app. So if you're hiring one of these cars, look for damage, put it on the app, report it, just in case you're charged for it. Okay, charging stopped. We are at 416 kilometers. So that took roughly half an hour, just over half an hour, to go from 69% up to 100%. As I said already, the charging, that's the headache. Okay, so the Tesla seems to be charging an awful lot quicker than the Honda E, but then it is an awful lot more expensive than the Honda E. Now let me just tell you a quick story with me and the Honda E, and which was almost the final nail in the coffin for me with electric cars. So I pulled into Athlone. There's 2 fast chargers in Athlone, and one was occupied, one was free. I pulled into the free one and tried charging. Nothing was happening. Unplugged, swiped the card again, nothing was happening. So here we go, another problem. So I rang up the helpline and they said, oh yes, that charger needs a reboot. I can do a remote reboot. It'll take about 5 minutes. And I'm there, great. Hang on the 5 minutes and voila, the charger starts to work again. You know, so this was 12 midday on a Saturday that this happened. And I asked her at the other end of the helpline, when did the last person charge on that charger that was given the problems? And she says, oh yes, it was Thursday. And that was it. Bye-bye electric car. So from Thursday to Saturday, nobody thought to ring in and tell the ESB there was a problem with the charger. And even worse, the ESB didn't detect that there was a problem with the charger and do a remote reboot. And the problem with this one, is somebody going to ring in and tell them about this one? Probably not. So when somebody comes in to charge in CCS, it's not going to work. They're stuck with AC 43. So yeah, that is it, Kenneth. But let me just tell you one thing. If you are getting an electric car in 2022, best of luck and enjoy the headaches.
Please don't buy a Tesla.
They're okay, but yeah, the charging will wreck your head. We're out of here, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll chat to you again very soon for another video. Cheers. Take care. Cheers.
Well, apparently the quality is just not there that I thought would be with the Tesla, with the price that Elon Musk is charging. There seems to be quality issues. Of course, the charging station is just loaded with glitches. It's really like I said at the beginning, the technology is not quite ready.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. What are you gonna do? You know, and then they're rushing into it, just like you and Commodore were talking about. They're just bum rushing everybody into the green movement, and
yeah, it's not there yet. You know, you gotta do the baby steps first. You know,
I mean, there's a hydrogen battery that they're working on. Is a hydrogen power battery, where hydrogen, which is manufactured from water, you know, H2O, and the hydrogen, which is very flammable, very, very unstable, worse than gasoline, from what I understand. It produces electricity to charge the lithium battery. But You have to manufacture the hydrogen. See, this is the issue. Electricity it's not like Nikola Tesla that was able to supply electricity to the whole planet by extracting it from the ground and the atmosphere. Oh no, the electricity that's manufactured to sell costs money to make this electricity, and the hydrogen is even more pricey to manufacture. So there's no easy answer to this. Technology is just not quite there. We're close, but not quite there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and okay, let me. Commodore wants to see the wheel, and we only have one more video, which is very interesting. It's about dating and it's about women, and that's the last video. But let's do a little wheel. Jordy, I guess, where's Jordy? Jordy wanted to talk about booze.
He was there. He was there.
Oh, that's right. He left before he could see the wheel. He's very he's like Ronald Theriot. He's a stickler for the clock. My first co-host, my first partner in crime with these shows back in the mid 1990s. He he was a reverend. He was a minister. PhDs also. But anyway, he was a stickler when it came to the clock. Everything had to be bing, right on time. You know, and I was going to show him the wheel. Oh, well.
Commodore's gone then?
Yeah, he's gone. I just want to...
Good night, Commodore. It was good to see you today. Have a good week.
He says when he bids adieu, he
Yeah.
shuts down and he's out. Maybe also because it is Sunday. He probably wants to get home.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there we go. There we go. We got Eric.
Oh, Eric was on last week.
Yeah. He messaged me. I thought he was going to come on today.
Yeah, what's going on with Ron also? What's Ron doing?
He sent me a message before.
Okay.
Yeah, we all know they hire the best looking people to do the weather and women.
Mm-hmm.
And with the Latin stations, they show a lot of cleavage and they try to show a lot of skin, and the networks create a personality of the weather person, but they all get it from the National Weather Bureau, the same source that we get it from.
Mm-hmm.
And I never listen to weather people because I have the weather app on my phone.
Right.
Well, I just wanted to show the very comical photo. I'll go back to the wheel, but let's see. I'll go back to the wheel. I just want to do this one because this is interesting. This is very interesting.
Usually bras fit small-chested women like this.
Not this. This is a commercial.
Look at how...
My brothers? Okay. Now this guy does very good videos when it comes to dating. And Jordy, this is very informative for you. You're a single guy that's out there. Oops. Now I gotta retrieve it. Of course, they don't make it easy here on StreamYard.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Interesting video.
My brothers from another mother, what is going on? In today's video, I've got a request from a subscriber to do a topic on women that are interrogating him to identify his intention in dating. Is basically how I'm going to distill it. And before I dive into it, folks, I just want to apologize for the crap video quality. I'm still using my 1080p webcam for this video. And my new camera hasn't arrived yet, so just bear with me. Anyway, so he sends me a screenshot here. I'm just looking for it. Okay, so they're having a conversation. They've exchanged some pictures back and forth, and he goes to carry on, and then she says out of the blue, so what are you looking, so what exactly are you looking for? And he says, to date, you, question mark, basically is what he's saying, to date, comma, you. And then she goes, are you looking for a relationship or just fun? And then he goes on in his question, because he's been hit up by a version of this several times. He's in his late 30s. This particular woman, he said, was 34, single mom, has one 4-year-old kid, looks attractive in the pictures, he said, would love to date her. But he doesn't understand why these women are so pushy and interrogating when it comes to what are you looking for? Because I think as guys in general, when we date, we're just, let's meet somebody and see what they're like. Just take it easy, take it as it comes. And I think we have more of a nonchalant attitude the older that we get. Let's talk about that in a second. I'm just going to make a note here to dive into that. Older we get, why that changes with age. We'll get into that in a second. But this woman wants to know, what are your true intentions? And he goes, it's not that like it's happened once. He goes, it keeps happening over and over again. He goes, in his message to me that there was a date that he had scheduled, and like a half an hour before the date, the woman messaged him by text and said, look, if you're not looking for a relationship, I don't want to waste our time. And he basically says, look, how do I know what she's like? Is she even relationship material? Am I going to want to see her again? Like, maybe she's somebody that could be a friend. Maybe she's somebody that I have a fling with. Maybe she's somebody that's, a long-termer. You never know. And I totally agree with him. So ladies, if you're watching this, my recommendation is chill out a little bit and just, see how things go. Guys, women are doing that because of the sexual marketplace value. And I'll explain what this is right now. So let's dive into it. First of all, let's talk about the term the wall, because that's what we're hitting here. Men and women hit this peak. And for men, it's late 30s. For women, it's early 20s. And this term, the wall, was coined in the professional sports world. Basically, athletes have a shelf life, at which point they're no longer valuable to the team, and younger players are better, faster, stronger. So in baseball, for example, a pitcher's arm will only last so long before he has to stop pitching and move on to something else. Same thing with football players and basketball players. Their body takes a lot of punishment doing what they do professionally. So at some point, they hit a wall. They can no longer do what they're doing, and they have to move on to something else. It's been postulated, interestingly enough, in the manosphere that the term the wall was adopted first by women to shame other women that are showing up in their space. It was said that there was women that were criticizing something. Oh, look at her. What is she doing here? She's hit the wall. She doesn't even look that good, sort of thing. But I digress. Whatever it means, it means. So the sexual marketplace value chart here is what we're going to dive into right now. And on this axis here, we've got on a scale of 1 to 10, the SMV, again, sexual marketplace value. And on this scale over here, from 15 to 70, we've got age. Now, men and women mature sexually at roughly the same age. 10, 11, 12, 13, whatever it might be. It's basically the age at which women first have their period and boys have their probably first wet dream, let's say. So we both mature sexually at nearly the same time in our lives. But emotionally, intellectually, all of that happens at a different time for men and women in our lives. For men, it happens in the early 30s, and for women, it happens in the early 20s. So that's why it's not that uncommon to see somebody that's 40, for example, dating a 25-year-old. It actually works fairly reasonably well. That creates a problem for women, which is why a lot of them can get very pushy in trying to identify what it is that you're doing, because they don't want to waste their time. it's really as simple as that. That's all that it boils down to. And
how to escape the heat if you don't have an air conditioner. This only takes 5 minutes. Tired of hot and stuffy rooms during summer? This genius way to cool any room in 90 seconds for almost zero cost is
because they don't want to waste their time. You know, women, I've talked about this before, women tend to communicate on a covert basis. And when they rely on overt communication, it's because they've basically run out of ways to drop the hints. You'll see it a lot in many of my videos when I'm talking about subjects like this, where men are nodding, going, yeah, it makes sense. And then women start to disagree. They don't even watch the whole video most of the time, but they start to disagree in the comment. And the way they respond to the cold, hard truth or the facts is they tend to shame or try to insult me. You know, they'll poke at something about me, like visually, like, oh, look, you know, you're bald, or you're a loser, or you probably don't even date, or you haven't been late, or something like that. And that's usually a pretty good sign that I'm par for the course and the information that I'm presenting is accurate and true, because the cold, hard truth does hurt. Anyway, so moving back onto this, so women will peak around the early 20s, at which point we think for both men and women that it continues on. Men will peak in the late 30s, and at the point of around 30, there's an intersection where women's value starts to decline and men's value is still carrying on and increasing. And the reason for that is women mature sexually, are able to reproduce easiest under the age of 25. It's biological, it's just fact, it's the truth. Some women will subscribe to, you know, what the media and TV and publications have been telling them, which is mostly lies, that, you know, you can settle down. Basically, you can have it all. So you have these women that have gone to university, they've got their professional careers, and they make 6 figures, and and they think that they've pushed the wall back into the 30s. But the truth of the matter is their SMV was highest in their early 20s, when they were easily able to reproduce and have a higher sexual marketplace value. Men, it doesn't really change much until, you know, the 40s, at which point it also declines. But men can have children, you know, well into their 40s. They're sexually able to have children at that age without a hell of a lot of trouble. But for women, their ability to have children declines rapidly after the age of about 25. And after the age of about 40, it's pretty dangerous for them to try to carry a term of pregnancy. Not that it doesn't happen. There's women out there that have done it, but it can be fairly dangerous for an older woman to have or to carry the term of pregnancy. So that's why those bell curves have shown up there. Now, there's this dotted line which I've drawn here, which is basically the lie that men and women tend to believe. You know, we both believe that our sexual marketplace value is a lot higher than what it truly is, and it's a fictitious line. Okay, it's artificial, and the reason for that is the overvaluation that we get from cues like social media, the Sex and the City TV shows, dating sites, and how we're lied to. And I'll explain that. So social media, for example, if you go to Instagram, you could very easily find, you know, an attractive 40-something-year-old woman that's divorced, has kids, is a fitness competitor, takes care of herself, you know, physically with nutrition and rest and all that sort of stuff. But the truth of the matter is that photograph that she's posting in that tiny little low resolution 2.5 by 2.5 window on social media can garner 1,000 likes, a whole bunch of comments from men and women. You go, girl, you know, will be what the women will say. And the guys will say something like, oh, you're gorgeous, you're beautiful, I can't wait to see you, da-da-da-da. Let's go out, I private message you. And they get hammered, they get showered on social media with attention. So they think that their value is considerably higher than what the truth of the matter is. I mean, the reason why this woman, my friend, was pushing you, because even though she's 35 and she's gorgeous and she's got a very high level of attraction, she truthfully knows that her SMV has declined and that it's not really up here. Even though she believes it, she probably has a nice Instagram collection of photographs. She's probably seen the Sex and the City series and believes that, you know, those 3, was it 3 women or 4 women? I don't know. Anyway, that those women can be, do, and have it all. But the truth of the matter is the women in that show were well past their prime. They were into their 40s. You know, if they were in their 20s, that show would be a little bit more believable, but it's artificial to believe the stuff that you see on television is truthful. dating sites are a great example of how it artificially rises or increases sexual marketplace value or the perception of it. You can take a woman that's like a 7 or 8 out of 10, for example, who can post a profile on a dating site, and 2 weeks later, she'll probably get 500 messages. I'm not even kidding, guys. If you ask a attractive female friend how online dating works, you'll see for yourself it's true. Women, you know it's true. Post a comment below and let the guys know. But basically, they can get hammered with a ton of messages, which leads them to believe that their sexual marketplace value is higher than what it is, that they're spoiled for choice, that they can choose anything that they want out there. And they can. They, they truthfully can. But they're hardwired, their internal biology, their hardwiring is telling them to find, secure, and settle down and look for safety. Guys tend to play to win, and women play not to lose. And that's not a derogatory statement or anything like that. That's just how our biology works. That's how we're designed. We're also lied to other ways through advertising, the cosmopolitan magazines, the blah, blah, blah. It's like the you go girl, you can have it all sort of thing. And you've got a demographic of women that are these highly successful, overworked, overstressed, probably divorced with a couple of kids that are trying to push their sexual marketplace value up here when it's realistically already declined. Now, these things move back and forth. I might have mentioned this before in another video, but they're not static. Sexual marketplace value is not necessarily fixed at 23 and 39. If you take care of yourself, good nutrition, good choices, good eating habits, good rest, all that sort of stuff, you can push it back a bit. The things that can take away from SMV are really bad lifestyle choices: obesity, drinking, partying, smoking, being a single parent, working way too much, stuff like that. So these things are not, static lines in the sand. They can be, people can hit the wall earlier, or they can hit the wall a little later in life. Now, to talk about this point over here with the older we get as men, as you can see by these, 2 bell curves here, men learn after the age of about 30 that their value is higher. We start to see the opportunity to date younger women that had previously ignored us. There's interest that comes from women that are younger, more attractive than somebody our own age that we can date very easily. It's not that difficult. Usually by our late 30s, guys have our shit figured out. We've got our act together. We've got lifestyle choices that work. We've got a house probably paid off. We own toys, cars, things like that. We're able to travel, take vacations. You're basically more spoiled for choice as a man the older that you get when it comes to the dating pool than you are for women, which is why some of these women get very, very pushy, because even though they think they're up here, they know that their value is truthfully down over here. So guys are less like, we're not desperate when it comes to the dating pool at that age. That's why we're not asking women ourselves, so what are your true intentions? What are you looking for? What exactly are you looking for is what that screenshot said. You'll never see a guy that'll text a woman that'll go, what exactly are you looking for? It doesn't usually happen unless they've got fairly low sexual marketplace value and they're unattractive. They don't bring a lot to the table. They might get pushy, but men tend to be more spoiled for choice the older they get. And again, it does start to die off for men as well. The bell curve does go down. Anyway, that is my presentation there. I hope that answers your question. That is why the women that you've been dating in their mid-30s have been pushy and have been asking for, it's almost like they're asking for a commitment early on before they've even met. It's like you don't even know what this person's like, and they're pushing you to find out what you're looking for. So, ladies, relax. You can't do anything about this. Just own it, guys. That's why women are asking you questions like that. And that is the wall. I'd love to hear your opinion, folks. Leave a comment below, smash the like button, and of course, share it if there's somebody that needs to see this video. I appreciate you guys greatly for subscribing to my channel and watching my big fat head move around talking about stuff like this. We'll see you guys in the next video. Of course, if you have any requests, you can leave them in the comments below. Talk to you later. Peace.
Okay, entrepreneurs. Oh, where am I? Entrepreneurs in Cars. That was a great video. All of his videos on dating, relationships, and women are great. Yeah, yeah. I mean, women are delusional with their sexual market value when they're older, regardless of stupid shows like the old Sex and the City show. You know, their ovaries start to shrivel like raisins after a certain age. You know, and
happens to us all.
You know, women don't age as well as men. Hold on for a second, I gotta do something. Oh, fucking Zuckerberg and his Facebook Messenger. What a... I mean, I remove it, son of a bitch. I remove it, and I'm still hearing the jingle, the notification sounds when somebody sends me a message.
Oh, your Twitter? You talking about your Twitter?
No, it's Facebook Messenger. Hold on. I gotta turn off. I gotta mute notifications. Eric saw the invitation, but he decided not to come. You know, he's a rather moody fella. Yeah, and that's it. Okay, I do what I had to do. Okay, so yeah, sexual market value is what it is. It's reality, and the women are delusional because they put themselves at the same sexual market value as a woman in her early 20s, but they're far from it. You know, they hit the wall, and especially the ones with baggage, the ones with young children, and they're not even coming close to the desirability of a woman in her 20s. So this is why the women that have hit the wall, that are older, should not be so damn demanding and picky when they join an online dating site. They have long lists of demands. It's like a mile long.
Still caught in the past.
Yeah, they give ultimatums. You better not be like this. You better not do this. You better not do that. You better be this. You better be that. And meanwhile, you're talking about a middle-aged woman with young children. And you know, even if they're like a cougar that wants to rekindle her youth, bring back her youth by dating young guys. So they date the young stud, and then they think there's going to be a relationship here. No. He's going to have sex with the older woman until he gets tired of her, and then he's going to leave. That's exactly what's going to happen. So they're living in a fantasy world. The gentleman is correct in some of his videos. Entrepreneurs in Cars is his YouTube name, and he's right on the money with what he says. So yeah, Eric doesn't want to come on, but then again,
who?
Eric.
Joe Everett.
Eric Fraunfelter.
Eric
didn't want to come on, so since we have him, where is he? I gotta put this. That's right. He's. Oh, there he is. All right. Then I gotta jump through hoops to share the screen again. This fucking guy. There we go.
Oh, there you go.
Well, clicks. Look, they've done it since I was a kid in grammar school, high school. They did it after I was an adult, and I used to hang out at certain bars and sports bars and dance clubs and what have you. People form cliques, and that's what they do. They don't really, in the United States, they don't really welcome with open arms any new people, inviting them into their clique. That's the problem with a clique. I don't mind if they talk to others and make new friends, but they don't do that.
Right.
They just don't do it. I'm gonna spin it again because I haven't really heard anything lately about Ukraine. I really don't know what's going on. I haven't really. They're talking about. They're not talking about Ukraine anymore. The flavor of the month is Roe v. Wade. Roe v. Wade. So let me spin it again. You know how yes, bait and switch. Retail does it. It's a sneaky retail scheme or scam or whatever you want to call it. They advertise something, they give you a price, you go to the store, you're ready to buy it. They either don't have it in stock or they give some excuse, some feeble excuse, and they try to get you to buy something more expensive. They try to sway you to get something else that's more expensive, or they just jack up the regular price. So your discount is just not there. Yeah. I'll spin it a couple more times because I want to go relax and order some Indian food to be delivered for dinner.
That's my favorite Indian food.
Yeah, I ordered last time I ordered lamb biryani.
Oh, good stuff.
Yeah, before that I ordered lamb vindaloo, which spicy. It's really spicy. The appetizer that's made of green mangoes. They're pickled green mangoes. Very spicy.
Yeah, the old biryani's good, and I normally get I get 2 orders. I get the tandoori chicken on the side.
Yeah, tandoori chicken. You like paratha bread?
Oh yeah. Oh.
Yeah, and I always order a mango lassi drink. Beverage, which is yogurt, cream, and mango puree, and it is one of the most delicious non-alcoholic beverages that you'll ever taste. Mango yogurt is very good for you. Mango is loaded with nutrition. Mango is originally from India. There's hundreds of different varieties of mangoes.
Oh, good food. Good food.
Oh, very good food. It smells wonderful. It tastes wonderful.
I love a good curry. I love a good curry, James. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I got some imported curry in the bag. You know, the powdered dry rub.
Yeah.
Garam masala, imported garam masala.
Oh yeah.
Definitely worth having. The narcissist that brags all the time and tells you how much he paid for everything, and every time you try to talk about your life, he ignores you. He keeps on talking about himself.
Mm-hmm.
I know them. These are real people. You know, you can't have a conversation you can't have a conversation with them because they don't converse. They talk at you. They don't talk with you.
Yeah.
And that's it. Anything you say, they blow you off.
Yeah, I mean, I meet a lot of them on the job. Like I went to a job on Friday.
Oh yeah.
This guy came out. Yeah, he was a South American guy, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, nice big house, this, that, and the other. $1 million home. I went up to do my job, and I've been doing this job for years, many, many years. And he comes out the door, and his first words to me was, just with his accent, just in case we get off on the wrong foot, this is what I need done. And he hands me a honey-do list.
Wait a minute, you don't really know him, and he does this.
Yeah.
He does this already off the bat.
Off the bat, yeah. He handed me a honey-do list.
He doesn't introduce himself and say I'm so and so and.
No, well, he opens the door. He says, "I say hello," and he goes, whatever." I say, and then he has this sheet of paper, and it's all printed off a computer. You know, typed on a computer and printed off on a sheet of paper. He hands me a honey-do list.
Yeah, well, it means he doesn't want to. He was sort of insulting. I mean, he doesn't want to converse. He doesn't want to converse with you.
Oh fuck! Yeah, insulting.
Yeah.
You know where that honey-do list went? Straight, fucking crumpled open in the trash can.
You filed it under G for garbage.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, as long as I've been at my profession, there's nobody, unless, you sure that he could have came out and he could have said, look, could you address this or could you address that? But they hand me a honey-do list. You fucking you're throwing a red flag to a bull.
Yeah, not even showing the respect of.
Yeah, who the fuck you think you're talking to? This guy was a control freak. A pure control freak, and I had to keep my calm. I just had to keep it calm, and fuck, I dread the day I have to go back to his house again. But that was a tough one. It was a unexpected and unwanted challenge that I came up against just Friday.
He was being very disrespectful.
Mm-hmm. Who the fuck does he think he's talking to?
Prick. He's
a
piece of shit. He's the type of person. He's the perfect candidate to be on the receiving end of the shillelagh.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
What a scumbag.
Yeah, imagine. Yeah.
Almost like you were like a robot or something. Like you wasn't a fellow human being. Like you just.
Yeah, and I said to him, I said, listen, I've been in this job a long time. I said, I see things that you don't see. But he just kept going on. Oh man. Oh bro.
What a shit.
Yeah. My patients were just like 0 to 100, but I had to keep it calm.
People like that really send my blood pressure sky high.
Oh yeah. I drove off and I was cussing out the window even. You piece of fucking shit. Sorry, for my language, but this is how much the guy get under my skin. I said, fuck, it drove me nuts, man. Yeah.
I hate people like that. I mean, there's no reason to treat others that way. Yeah, he sounds like a control freak. He sounds like a brown-nosing company man.
Yeah.
He's the type that would just, to polish the apple. He would work for free, long hours, overtime, and
yeah, it this fucking real deep South American accent. The guy was probably, I'd say he's about 70.
Oh, so he was looking at you like a gringo.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like Whitey. He was like, he didn't see a new employee that he just met. He was seeing some white guy.
Yeah, some white fucking Irish guy coming up there, and he's going to talk to me like that. He's barking up the wrong tree. You can't do that with Irish. You can't do it with Italians. You can't fucking do that with people because they get this instinct bred within them that's just going to, boom, it's going to react. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
From Jersey, from New York. You can't do that with these type of people because they're going to go down your fucking throat for a shortcut.
I mean, we're very proactive people.
Yeah.
We're very hands-on. We could see disrespect. I mean, we don't imagine things. If it's disrespect, we pick it up right away.
Yeah, and exactly, James, because for the most part, we're 90% of us are quite honest people and very humble. We know where we came from. And when I get that coming, like, wow, it's just funny this conversation came up. When I had that coming at me unexpectedly on Friday, oh man, that was just like, whew. I was just like fucking. But as I said, I had to be very quiet. I had to bite my tongue, and I had to say, I just done it and I left. You know what I mean? Done the job and left.
You figure a 70-year-old. Well, first of all,
maybe it was a fit 70-year-old.
He was a 70-year-old geezer that didn't want to retire, and he really should retire because I've worked with a couple geezers in my time, and they're miserable bastards, and they're very jealous of men that are younger than them, younger men, very jealous.
Yeah.
And they should really just retire and go move into some Florida condominium,
Yep. Get ate with a fucking alligator. You know what I mean?
Yeah, biting their wrinkled ass.
Yeah, and I met his wife briefly. She was I think she looked like she was from maybe the Philippines, wherever. But she was so nice, and I left thinking, God love that fucking woman if she has to deal with that fucking guy. Because if I had been in my civilian clothes, I'd have punched him in the fucking face. And I'm not that way inclined at all.
Listen, I'll give you an example, a perfect example. If you were in a supermarket, you were at the cash register, and a person like him tried to cut ahead of you online without saying, excuse me, I only have 2 items. Can I please go ahead? Can I put no? Just try to be a sneak and cut ahead of you.
Yeah.
You would have exploded.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's disrespect.
Yeah.
You know, or if you were on a date and you were with a girlfriend and some guy started fucking flirting with her right in front of you. That's real disrespect.
Oh yeah.
You know, real disrespect. And then but that's different. It's not the job environment.
Right.
You know?
Oh yeah. Yeah. You run. I'm sure you've seen it many times yourself, as I have too. You know, I was on a job one time, and I was treating this one guy's house, and the house across the street. This real pretty looking girl. She came out. She looked like she was from Hawaii, but probably raised up maybe in San Fran or wherever.
She might have been Filipina.
Possibly.
She might have
but
been.
She came out. She came out of her house across the street while I was treating this guy's house. She came out, and she started to spark up a conversation with me. All of a sudden, talk about a cock block.
What happened?
This guy in the house that I was servicing came right out, right into the middle of the two of us. Oh yeah, that was the biggest cock block I've ever seen in my life, and that's an awful expression. I never knew it until somebody told me when I shared that.
Yeah, no, it's we've been saying cock blocking in the United States for decades.
Mm-hmm.
No, he cock blocked you, or at least tried to. But the point is, she was an adult female, and the woman still makes the final decision.
Right.
I
just carried on with what I was doing, and then it was the conversation was lost, But this guy, he was watching out the window. He saw, and he came into the equation, so to speak.
But the thing is, he broke up the momentum of your conversation with that girl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
girl,
exactly.
There's red flags and there's green flags.
Mm-hmm.
The green flag is she started to converse with you.
Yeah, and she did. She came towards me, and she was real pretty, real pretty.
Way she might have even smiled.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So she conversed with you first. So that's a big green flag.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good sign. And this son of a bitch.
Oh yeah, he came in there, and as I say, she was a real pretty girl too, and she just came over to me and she says, "Hey, what are you doing?" It was civil, very, very civil. And I started to chat with her, where are you from, this, that, or the other. She asked me, and all of a sudden this fucker came. And I just says, fuck that.
Well,
man.
Well,
I was deflated.
Well, you know what you could do? You could occasionally, not during the weekday when people are usually not home, but occasionally you could slowly drive by her house and see if she's outside.
Mm-hmm.
It won't be on this scumbag's property. It'll be on public road, on the road, public property. Then you drive by, and if she's outside, you slow down and say, "Hi, how are you? Remember me? I want to apologize for the man who rudely interrupted our conversation and got in between you and I." And then if she responds to, "Oh yeah, he really upset me what he did," you get the ball rolling. You have a business card with your cell phone number on it.
Yep.
Give it to her and say, let's chat, and if you want, we can go to lunch or something.
Yeah. Yeah,
event-
no, it's a good idea. Yeah.
You know, but eventually, if you ride by her house on a Saturday or a Sunday, eventually she's going to be outside.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, an Asian girl that's pretty.
Mm-hmm.
And she's not too Americanized.
Right. I was thinking the same word.
You know what I mean? They're usually a keeper.
Yeah.
But if they're Americanized through and through,
forget about it.
You're just as bad as the next American girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but if her parents are old world parents, then usually, they're well worth dating.
Yeah, worth a keeping, like you say.
Yeah. Worth keeping. And there's a really good chance that if she's living in a house, there's a really good chance she already has a green card.
Yeah.
Now if she's very friendly and she happens to be married, then you say, I didn't know. I'm sorry. Whatever you want to say. Best of luck to the both of you.
Yep.
I mean, sometimes friendly women give the wrong signal. Sometimes they're too friendly, and you think they're interested, but it's very confusing when a woman is that friendly.
Yeah. You gotta be on your toes.
Yeah,
Definitely.
because if it's a housewife, I mean a homemaker. If it's a homemaker whose husband has a good job and he's the breadwinner, but he kind of like ignores her and the romance is not there anymore, and the wives get bored,
Mm-hmm.
and they start being friendly and they start talking to other guys, and that means they're not being attended. They don't feel appreciated.
Yeah.
That's a possibility too. It's not that she's trying to lead you on. It's just that she could be married and she's bored. She was watching TV, cleaning the house.
Yeah.
Watching TV again.
Wants a bit of spark in the life, get out and do stuff and see things and.
Yeah. Now, don't. I mean, I know it'll be funny if you did this, but don't do it. If you said to her, "Honey, would you like to see me Lucky Charms?" or would you like? I have a very nice shillelagh.
Let me grab a beer quickly.
I have a very nice shillelagh, honey.
Oh man!
Now, the jabronis out there, where the hell are they?
Who's out there?
Yeah, the people that. Let me bring up this. Let me see if he's.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. That's just a few experiences over my last work week and past also. Got myself a Miller Lite here.
Yeah, well, you should have no trouble coming on Ronald's show if he's doing like a cheap macro, like if he's doing a Coors, a Budweiser, a Miller.
Yeah, I'll buy in a couple of different ones. I just drink light beers. I don't get too much unless I head down. There's a little pub down the street.
Yeah.
I head down there probably once a month, maybe on a Saturday if I'm off. or a early Sunday afternoon, like and have a few beverages. But it's all local, like craft beer. But me as a go-to, it's I do my Miller Lite stuff, listen to music, jump on, obviously with you the last few Sundays, which is great, and it's very interesting topics and conversations, right up my alley, and just to share some stuff too. Yeah, share some stories just like I did, and get a little bit of perspective and advice. We all need it, all of us.
Well, I tell you, I like, those are my favorite pubs, the ones that that have local brewery on tap. Local craft breweries in the area on tap. I like those. I like those because the beer is really good quality.
Oh yeah, and it's strong too. You gotta kind of pace yourself. 2 or 3 of them. You're feeling it. So no, it's good. Like you said, it's good quality, and it's probably, if it's possible, probably a lot more healthy.
Oh, without a doubt. There's no preservative. There's no chemicals, preservatives in it. And every tap every tap represents a different product that they make. It's like right down the line.
Yeah.
Like that's like and you know what pubs like that are my favorite? The ones connected to the brewery itself. The brewery is there. You see the big tanks through the window, and there's the pub. And then they might serve like bar food. They might serve hamburgers, pizza, what have you. Yeah. And then they might play all the games. All the sporting events will be on big screens. Yeah, I mean that's the ideal place to hang out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I agree 150%.
Go there, watch the game, and when you get into conversations with regulars will go there.
You never know who you're going to run into. Exactly.
You talk about whatever's on TV. Talk about sports. Talk about politics. Whatever. Maybe the food is really good.
Yeah. Yeah, and you meet some folks,
I know in the United States, my favorite food, one of my favorite foods is Irish pub food. Because it's reasonably priced. It's good food. You get a big portion.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that.
Whatever you order. And they have great beers, liquor, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's it's a nice family atmosphere, very rustic. The only thing is, what I noticed? The shepherd's pie tends to vary.
Yeah.
Depending on where you get it. Like the recipe is some places put it in a pastry, in a flaky pastry, like almost like a meat pie. Some have it like open. It depends who's making it.
When I do mines at home, James, I do the ground beef, carrots, onions, whatever. And then, I boil the potatoes and then I mash them up with butter. And I just lay it over the top of it. And then I stick it in the oven and let the potatoes come to a crust.
Oh, okay. So the potatoes kind of become the pie crust, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's real good. But don't get me wrong. I'm a big lover of pastry. I love pastry, especially flaky pastry.
So the meat, you like the meat pies?
Oh, I love meat pies. Oh yeah, yeah.
I think they make them all over. They make them in Scotland. In
Scotland are famous. Scotland are famous for them.
Yeah, Scotland. I gotta one of these days. I have to try one of them from the right restaurant. Like there's a town in my region next to Newark, New Jersey. The town is called Kearney, New Jersey. Kearney has a huge Scottish community there, and they have fish and chip restaurants.
Oh man!
They got the Argyles, and then there's another one called the Thistle, and they have these landmarks that have been there for decades.
Oh, and you know what? James, I hope they stay there for continuing decades, because I was just thinking about this the other day. I have a lot of time in the truck. I'm driving, and the radio's on. And I don't listen to music when I'm driving. It's always it's politics.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking the other day, when I was a kid, my memory's going back now, but when I was so young, my mother used to take me, and I'm just kind of uniting this with what you just said about those places that have been there for years. My mother used to take me to this cafe in Derry City, Northern Ireland. It was called the Dolphin.
Oh.
And it was the best fish and chips you could get in the whole town. But as I get older, for some reason, who knows, industries, things closed down, and it went away. But it was the best place. I have fond memories. You went in there, and it was the big counter. You went up there, and they were frying them behind it. And then the chairs, where the people used to sit down, it almost looked like a church, the pews, but extended backs. So you sat down in almost like a booth. And the old, whatever way, I remember the glass window when you went inside, it was not see-through glass. It was I don't know the name of it, but it had the image of a dolphin on there, and then it said dolphin on the top. I'm talking, this is probably 1979, probably very early 80s. And yeah, and it's gone now, it's gone. But legendary.
It's a shame that it's gone, really is.
Yeah.
You know what happens to the children, younger generation children? They don't want to live the restaurant business life. They don't want to take over the business.
Yeah.
I know people that they had to close up. They had to close up, and because the kids, they don't want to stay in working 7 days a week, or or even retail.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah,
you're in a restaurant. You're open holidays, Saturday, Sunday, holidays. It's really a very tough life, and the kids now, they don't want to take over and live that lifestyle.
Yeah, because the ones that came before them fought so hard to give them that somewhat comfortable life that they had. And, hopefully, they've gone on to better things, or not better things, but, maybe got well educated and got a real good job. But those that don't, you gotta keep the ball rolling. I always think, it's don't let it go.
The problem is, even if they hire other people to work the restaurant, they still have to be there. They still have to show up and be hands-on, because otherwise the managers will rob you blind.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
They'll rob you, man. They'll Now, you know how you tell a good quality, in my opinion, a good quality fish and chip, they'll give you haddock. Instead
Good
of
fish.
a regular cod, they'll give you a haddock.
Haddock's great. It's it's similar to cod, a little bit different, but it's flaky as well. I love haddock.
Well, it's in the cod family. It's the most expensive cod is haddock, and then there's underneath cod there's pollock.
Pollock, good. Also,
like I buy for $10, I get a 2-pound bag of pollock fillets from Alaska. It says wild caught Alaskan pollock. I only $10, and I think it's great.
Oh no, pollock's great. Yeah,
I have no problem. I don't care if that's what they use in the frozen fish, and fast food. I don't care, but because I make it my way. I don't overcook seafood.
Mm-hmm.
Seafood is like cooking eggs. You have to stay by the stove. You have to stay there.
Oh yeah, you can't leave it.
No, otherwise it'll dry out. I mean, could you imagine having something great like deep sea scallops and overcooking them? Or killing the shrimp, having jumbo shrimp, and it's dry.
Yeah.
I still think crab meat's one of the best tasting seafood.
Oh, I love seafood. I had the best seafood probably in 2001. I traveled up. A cousin of mine was living for years before I ever got here. He was living up in Montauk, Long Island.
Oh, that's all the way on the end.
Yeah, way up there. And I never knew Long Island was so long until I drove from Virginia to Montauk. I never knew Long Island was that long.
If you Long Island is probably a good 4 or 5 hours. I mean, Long Island is long, and
big time.
And if you listen, do you remember passing the duck farms on Long Island?
Oh, vaguely.
It's like they got a huge statue of a duck. And there's a whaling museum before Montauk in Greenport, Sag Harbor. There's Sag Harbor. There's a whaling museum, Greenport, and then there's the Hamptons. That's all on the end. And then
I might go through the Hamptons.
Yeah, and when you get to the end of Long Island, when you get to
Montauk,
and you get closer to Montauk, you don't get New York radio stations. You get Boston radio stations.
Yeah. Oh wow. It was quite, James. It was quite an experience back on them days. Yeah. It was June 2001, and we actually drove past the World Trade Center.
Now, you remember, did you go over to George Washington Bridge, I-95?
Probably. And I remember going onto the Lincoln Tunnel.
Oh, you took the Lincoln. All right, not the bridge.
I wasn't driving. I was a passenger back then. I was only fresh in the country.
Yeah, I must be about from where you were, from New Jersey. I must be about maybe 20 minutes.
Wow.
Because I'm right up the hill from the Hudson River, and the bridge, I could see the bridge when I walk down the hill. Yeah, I'm like around that vicinity. I mean, the Lincoln Tunnel is actually, no, not 20 minutes. What am I saying? The Lincoln Tunnel, I'm about maybe 10 or 15 minutes from the Lincoln Tunnel.
Oh wow, you're right. You're almost right in the city.
Yeah, well, yes, but I'm in a residential area. And it's all these towns, Fort Lee, Edgewater, and Cliffside Park. They're all like
close proximity.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Well, no, it's all rich people and a lot of rich Koreans. Some the Russians, they have a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all have expensive cars, except me. I mean, you know.
I got a Honda Accord, but I baby it. I baby it.
Yeah, but
It
let me
looks
tell
good.
you,
It actually looks good.
you got a damn. If you got a fairly, if it's not too old and you got a fairly recent Honda Accord, that's a great car.
Yeah, it's I as I say, I baby this thing, and the other luxury I have is with my job, I hardly have to use the Honda. You know, because and except on the weekends, like if I want to go get groceries or something, or head to the store, or if I want to take a trip, like I'm going to do probably next week, like I said, up to Gettysburg.
Well,
yeah, hardly ever have to use it.
If you want that Honda Accord to ride much better, quieter, get better mileage, and last longer, flush all the oil out and get synthetic oil.
Yeah, that's what I've been putting in there, synthetic. Yeah,
that's the way to go. That is the way. So you change synthetic every 6,000 miles instead of 3,000 miles. Hey Sid, you always come on late.
1 second.
Yeah, there's probably going to be riots, Sid. There's probably going to be rioting going on. Oh yeah, they're pissed. But anyway, yeah, I'm just about to bang up the show. You should have came on earlier. But anyway, how was your weekend? Do you have a heat wave going on by you, like we do here? What state do you live in, Sid? Just so I get an idea where you're from. Well, getting married today, you really have to do some serious thinking before you do that, because legally the woman can take you right to the cleaners.
Oh, you gotta watch that.
It
happened to me. It happened to me.
All she has to do is she can take you to cleaners, especially if she has just one child with you.
Well, I had no kids, but I lost a lot with a divorce. I've been single now for coming up in 5 years.
I don't blame you. Hey, you know who was here? You know who was here earlier on my show?
Who?
BC is back. BC's
yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, BC from Michigan. He's from Detroit, the outskirts of Detroit, but I think he's living in where the fuck is
it was good to see him back. Absolutely.
Southwestern Michigan? I don't know. I gotta ask him again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Sid is here. We showed a video, Alpha Male Red Pill Talk. We showed a great video on that. You missed it. Actually, you could watch the show and check out the video. You know, the rerun.
Well, the Bidens are millionaires, you know. Unfortunately, I'm not in that category. You know.
Well, I got a good air conditioner. I got 10,000 BTUs, but my next AC is going to be higher than 10,000 BTUs. Listen, all those establishment career politician Democrats, they're all filthy rich.
Oh yeah.
They all are, even the Republicans, they're all rich.
Yeah, they never made it off their their salary. There's always background deals, this, that, and the other. You know, we all know about it.
Yeah, and what is it with these? What is it with equality and the feminists? Why do men have to pay long-term alimony if we're supposed to have equality? You tell me. That doesn't sound fair.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. I got somebody else on the wheel. You'll see it next. You'll see it next time. Yeah. He's back. He sent me a message. He asked me if he can come on. I said, sure. The only thing is he's got issues with his Wi-Fi. I heard my voice was echoing back.
Yeah, if he puts on his earphones, then it's gonna be smooth. But for whatever reason, if he's just a cappella, so to speak, it's gonna be, you're gonna have the echo.
Okay, so see, with my phone, I don't need the earphones, but then again, I have a new Android. But so what you're saying is, in general, when you put those earbuds in using your smartphone, that tends to have better audio.
Oh yeah, it takes it away. I've seen BC on another channel, and he always has the same problem coming on. But once he sticks in his earphones, then it's just like crystal clear. The echo goes away.
Okay, I'll tell BC when I'm relaxing in my ice-cold living room, lying down, ordering my Indian food. I will tell BC what you told me, and he might have a good pair of earbuds. You know why those kind of women are the ones rioting? You said obese and tattooed. Those are the lesbians, Sid.
Yeah, exactly, Sid. Yeah, exactly.
Those are not the real feminine women.
Yeah.
If they're tattooed and fat.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are lesbians.
That's lesbos. That's for sure.
Yeah, when I get on the bus, there's a fat lesbo with her head shaved. Her head is completely buzzed, and she's really fat, and she has tattoos like a dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I call that? I call that the greatest walking advertisement for birth control.
Mm-hmm. There's some fucking freaks out there, nowadays. It's like unbelievable. I can't imagine where you get on the bus or get on the train or whatever. It's like all sorts. I only know what I see here down just outside Washington, D.C. It's bad. It's pretty bad,
There was an old disco song, and it was called The Freaks Come Out at Night.
Mm-hmm.
The freaks come out at night. The freaks come out at night. That's true.
Yeah.
There are more freakazoids coming out of the woodwork like cockroaches than ever before.
Yeah.
In society.
It's like the phoenix out of the ashes. Yeah, man.
Yeah. All like, when the freaks started pouring out, I'll tell you exactly when. Because I noticed when Bill Clinton got elected, and Bill Clinton, I'm sure with the influence of his wife Hillary, started appointing people in his administration lesbians, like Donna Shalala, Janet Rhinoceros. I mean Janet Reno. Janet Reno. All these lesbians started getting jobs in the Clinton administration. As soon as that happened, I started seeing them shopping. They all came out of the woodwork, out of the closet.
Yeah, yeah.
They're all over the place. All over
Mhm.
the place. Sid, ever since after that administration, they were all over.
Yeah, he was the homo president, Bill Clinton.
Well, Bill Clinton, he's a funny guy. I mean, look.
What a charmer. What a charmer, though.
But Hillary, according to the Secret Service agents, Hillary was really mean when she was off camera. She was like really nasty and mean, and she used to yell and throw things at Bill, and you know, maybe he just got tired of that abuse, and somebody like Monica Lewinsky was very sweet, very nice to him. You know, he liked that. He liked being treated well, and because now some say, you know, that the woman that was supposedly married to Anthony Weiner, for a former Democrat congressman from New York.
Yeah. Oh, she was an aide.
Yeah, the one with the Arabic name.
Yeah.
To Hillary.
Yep.
I heard stories about that, but Anthony Weiner was married to that woman. She's attractive, Arabic looking.
Oh yeah, she's good looking. Yeah, definitely a good looking woman.
Anthony Weiner's the one that used to take his clothes off and masturbate on video chat with young girls. He was showing them his wiener, and then he got removed. He was impeached, removed from office, and I still say his second job should have been, his new job should have been driving the Oscar Mayer Wiener truck, you know, the Wienermobile.
Yeah, they should have had his face on the back of it. Like an imprint of his face on the back of it. Their sales probably, how corrupt this world is now at the moment, the sales probably would have went through the roof. And that sounds messed up to say, but it's true. If they stuck, I tell you, the way the world is, if they stuck Anthony Weiner's face in the back of an Oscar Myers truck, sales would up.
Remember his face? He looked like a dachshund, a dog. He had the same face as a dachshund.
Yeah.
The freaks come out at night. The freaks come out at night. No. Unless she was very. No. I was gonna say, if I was a kept man, you know, and I was a what do you call it, gigolo, boy toy, whatever, and then, but you know what's gonna happen? If she's rich, she'll be telling me what to do, bossing me around.
Yeah.
She would just say, "Oh, I'm the one that's paying for everything." And then she'll keep me.
Put you on the guilt trip.
Yeah, the guilt trip. I'll be under lock and key. I wouldn't have any friends. I wouldn't have any hobbies. She would turn me into like a house slave, like a concubine.
Yeah.
I would be like a sex slave.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, nothing is for free. You know, you think, you know, oh, you married a rich girl. Oh, I got made in the shade. Yeah, guess what? Once you get home, she'll start barking out orders to you left and right.
Mm-hmm.
Your life won't be your own.
Oh yeah, you'll be like living in hell.
Yeah, what they call him, a nice Jewish boy that looked like a fucking dachshund. You had a good marriage. Well, if you had a good marriage, what? I mean, unless he was a sex addict like Bill Clinton, why did he converse with young girls and you know and take his clothes off and jerk off
That had to be a marriage. That had to be a marriage of convenience.
Yeah, because if you're in a spotlight,
An Arab marrying somebody that's Jewish, you know, if they're Muslim, marrying a Jewish guy.
you know how furious I would be if I had a daughter that converted and gave up being a Catholic and turned Jewish or Muslim because of her husband. I would freak out.
Oh yeah, yeah. I used to work with this girl years ago, back in the early 2000s. She was from Lithuania. I think she was Orthodox Catholic. She started dating a Muslim guy, and this guy was very, very possessive over her, you know.
Well, they are.
Yeah, and she was a lovely girl. Lovely. She was about 6 foot tall, you know, and just a lovely, gentle girl. And you know, I never dated her, but I spent some time with her, you know, watching a couple of movies, this, that, and the other. You know, it was just like, you know, hanging out. You know, just there was never nothing. But she was always with this guy, and then she married him. I haven't seen her now in years. I mean, years gone by. But I remember seeing her wedding photographs. She was wrapped up in a hijab, this, that, and the other. And I says, oh, my God, what the fuck? You know what? If you're happy, you're happy. You know, do what you got to do. But just from me knowing her, from working in the restaurants back in the day and spending time with her, she was a very Christian person with a big, gentle heart.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows? As I said, I haven't seen her now for a long time, but I hope she's all right. Who knows what she let herself in for? Because this guy would come to work at night, you know, like midnight, and he'd be sitting outside, he'd be waiting.
Well, they forget that this is the United States.
Exactly.
They abuse women in their country and in their culture, but this is America.
Absolutely.
And you don't pull that shit over here.
Exactly. That's why we got to stand strong. Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
there are laws now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what the cops say? Nothing we can do if the woman doesn't press charges. You know, and that's true. They can't but anyway, this Sid is a very intelligent man. Look, Hillary was only mad at Bill when it hurt her politically. Very smart thing. And then here he says, Hillary didn't mind him banging all the chicks as long as it didn't go public, which means that it would hurt her politically. I don't get why Wiener didn't just bang escorts and other whores. Yeah, why deal with underage minors that, you know, I mean, I don't care if they're these girls, once they put cosmetics on professionally, they definitely look older than like 16 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Instead of where the girl could do a print screen, like if you're having a video chat with a person, they hit the right button, they could do like a screen share. They could print that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they could take a photo of him naked with his hand on his banger sausage there, and the girl. You know, you got him in a photo. There's his career. Kiss his political career goodbye.
Yeah, especially now with social media. Things are widespread. It just goes boom, just like that there. It's not like years ago you're waiting for the Monday morning newspaper.
Yeah, well, obviously Wiener was not one of the smart Jews.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he was, he wouldn't have done what he did.
But I bet you he's still living the life of Riley. even though he's tarnished, his political career's over. He's definitely not fucking waiting on his next dollar coming through the door.
No, I'm sure he has enough money to be comfortable.
Yeah, not like the rest of us. We got to go out and bust our arse.
No.
You know, we got.
He's not
Probably working day a day.
He's not going to be applying for manager of Burger King.
Right.
or manager of there's no
dollar store.
There's no nationwide. Well, there is a Nathan's hot dog place, but I don't think they're not nationwide.
Nathan's hot dogs?
No, there's no nationwide fast food establishment that sells hot dogs, specializes in hot dogs.
Yeah, why is it? Why is that?
They're only local. They're only local.
Good point.
Right, Sid? I'm sure you have some local landmarks that are famous for hot dogs in Michigan. Yeah, Cuomo was he was a diddler. He liked to fondle.
Yeah, the whole Cuomo family are fucking scumbags. Sure, look, that brother of his, they chucked him off fucking CNN. Not that I watch CNN, but I just
the fuck is that? Chris.
Yeah, the muscular guy, you know, the good looking guy. Yeah, they chucked him off, you know, because he was
trying to help his brother, you know.
He was endorsing his brother, like, and his brother was fucking.
There wasn't concrete, solid evidence to support the allegations made by those females. And
well, he's walked away. He's walked away now. You know, he put out that book that he put out, and during the virus.
Yeah, he sent COVID-19 infected people to nursing homes and killed off the seniors.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's gone now. He's just walked away. Money talks. Money talks.
Hey, his father, Mario Cuomo, was he served either 2 terms or 3 terms.
Mm. Yeah, it was 3.
He served a lot of terms. I think it might have been 3 terms.
Yeah, it was 3. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But no, those guys.
You know why they turned on Andrew Cuomo so fast? Because you're talking about neoliberals in the DNC, that established Democrat DNC neoliberals that totally suck up to the feminists, totally and completely suck up to them, and the feminists they don't want to see any man hook up or get lucky. They don't want to see that. They don't even want to see straight people happy and get married.
Yeah, like Sid's exactly right. You know, look how quickly they turn on each other. They're like a pack of wolves. You know, that just shows you how radical they are.
Sid, you got to come on earlier so we can do some nice alpha male red pill talk like this. And listen, if you don't, I don't even care if you look like Nosferatu or Frank.
Doesn't matter.
Come on, it doesn't matter to me. Come on, video. Be a guest on video as long as you let me talk. As long as you don't do what these other 2 guys I know did, and they let I couldn't get a word in edgewise.
Who was that? Not me.
No. Nobody that comes on the show now. I'm talking about in the past.
Oh, in the past. Okay.
They wouldn't shut up. And then one of them, his wife, she was so possessive that she didn't even let her husband be on a live stream show. She would be interrupting nonstop, loudmouth. She had a southern twang.
Oh man.
She wouldn't shut that. She sounded like Honey Boo Boo's mother. And she wouldn't shut the fuck up. Sid would have blew his stack. That's right, baby. That's right. You hit the listen. Come on the show. Come on. Regardless, listen. Regardless.
Yeah.
Regardless if you live in a teepee or a log cabin, or well, if you were in a log cabin, you wouldn't have internet on your phone, right? Well, regardless where you live, or whether you're the Mothman or the or Sasquatch, I don't care. Come on the show next Sunday, but don't come on late because I gotta go eat. I gotta split. But then you get to talk about Michigan with BC, and all that. All right, listen. Thank you, Sid. Thank you, Bart Robertson. Thank you, Colin McMenamin. Thank you, Jordy. Thank you, Commodore. Thank you, Masumi. Thank you. I'm losing track of everybody.
I think you got most. Yeah.
I think I got them all, didn't I?
Yeah, you got most. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, James. Myself. And
Jason Cleveland.
Jason Cleveland, yes, thank you, Jason Cleveland. Thank you for reminding me. BC, thank you, BC. And to those that are too highfalutin to come on the show, well, take off. There's the starting gate. Start running. All right, people. Have a good one. If you haven't had dinner yet, have a good dinner, Colin.
Thank you, James.
And
good show. Enjoyed it today.
Yeah, we will have a pleasant Sunday, and we will keep in touch. And it was a great show.
Yeah, absolutely.